Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. How would you rate our fish tank? I'm going to put it up. It's live right now on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. How would you rate our fish tank?
It's been at least
Sorry.
8 or 9 for the past 2 months.
It's great. Although I put it up. These fish, these goddamn fish, I give you, there he goes. There's one goes by. I give you guys your shine. I say, here's our fish tank, and they all hide. I put the camera on you, and you all hide. You know. We got to work on that. How do we get it?
We need more fish.
How do we get it so... Let's pack that thing so there's no way to swim, or they're just kind of standing room only like Woodstock.
I think we should give credit to the starfish for this situation.
He's not doing nothing.
It's been clean since we got the starfish.
Nah, he don't do nothing. He's the butler of the tank.
The little
he's happy. He floats around.
All the glass.
He's just floating around. He's happy. I talked to him. That starfish just bought a house, and he's not. His head's not even in here.
You streamlined.
Yeah.
The sea urchins, they're the real heroes.
They are unsung.
Yeah, they got rid of all the mung and all the green algae that was growing in there. I think they fixed it.
I believe that too. They brought in a level of just almost like a level of homeostasis, and they kind of chilled everything up. But hats off to Top Shelf Aquatics. Thank you guys for making us look like we actually know what we're doing with the fish tank.
Let's do Weird Job.
All right, buddy. Weird Job is now. Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. You look like my dog. You're looking all around.
I thought it was...
What are you doing? You're looking all around. You're looking at the sky. You're looking at the feet.
Samantha's alarm was going off. I'm the only one that could hear it because
it's a Weird Job alarm.
One headphone off, and I was like, "What's happening?" I thought I was brain tumor for sure. Weird Job Wednesday brought to you by Streamline Florida. If you're looking for a job, you don't need any mortgage experience. Streamline's hiring right now for their front office.
You can refinance your life, basically. Get a new job.
Just email leo@streamlineflorida.com. He'll give you all the details, pay, and everything.
He's an actual lion, too, which is weird.
The growing company.
Do you know how many keyboards that guy has to go through because he's a lion every year? About 5. 5 keyboards a year because of the nails.
Matt's on the line. What's going on, Matt?
Hey, guys.
So, Matt, what is your job?
All right, so this is a job I used to have. I used to manage a few kangaroo storage facilities.
Yes, the old kangaroo storage facility where your mascot is a kangaroo who apparently is putting a bunch of junk in his pouch. Right? That's his thing. He's like, I'm a kangaroo. I have a pouch. What do I keep in there? Boxes of stuff that I'll never revisit.
So, Matt, I've got a couple. I'm glad you're here because I got a bunch of questions about the storage facility industry. Because we're
being held hostage.
We've had a lot of problems.
Gun to our head. We are hemorrhaging money. We've been paying $450 a month for 11 years for storage.
We pay an Audi payment a month.
We could have a goddamn R8.
Okay.
I did not realize this until, a month ago when you brought it up?
We could have an R8 Spider. That's the convertible.
So, Matt, let's start from the beginning, right? So, you see storage facilities everywhere. We got a storage unit about, what was it, like 4 years ago, something like that?
I don't know. You're the one. This is your scam.
So, about 4 years ago, we got a storage unit because we needed
need a place to put our mildewed T-shirts.
We needed some, idiots to play, basically junk. Just a place to put junk.
It was really just junk storage.
It's a whole junk. And a PA.
All right, so here's the thing. You guys probably have a storage that's a little bit too big, and you've probably been in the same unit for like 4 years, so they've been raising your rent like every 3 months. And
yes. Hold on, this sounds familiar.
Yeah. So now
That's the whole business plan. Do they have you on auto pay as well until your credit card gets declined?
Yes, and then when it gets declined,
And
they start calling me, and they're like, "Sir, we're gonna sell your junk," and I'm like, "No,
don't
I
sell
want my junk."
Yeah, and then we freak out because we don't know what's in there. It could be my birth certificate could be in there.
I didn't tell you guys, but I had to pay a late fee.
Oh,
how much was that?
And it was like $50.
Is this like the time you had to pay the late fee?
No, just a late fee, or did you have to pay a lien fee?
No, just a late fee, but I was mad because
late fee, lien fee. Hold on.
How many fees are there?
Fee.
I started to get on to pay it, and then I got ADD distracted, and then I forgot, and then all of a sudden
surfing Amazon.
The late fee. So let's go back to the beginning, Matt. So
I'll tell you this: you are probably the best storage client that anyone could ever have.
Thank
4
you.
years, you're paying late fees. You're dealing with rental increases.
He's calling you a sucker.
We're the best at everything we do.
Yeah, you just complain to the people you work with about it instead of the actual storage facility.
We are the best at everything we do, especially being taken advantage of.
So,
Matt,
everything Tom and I go to do because I'm too assertive to the point of anger, and Tom is not assertive to the point of full passive, right?
Yeah.
So when we meet in the middle, there's nothing. There's literally absolutely nothing there.
Yeah. It's like two wizards shooting.
No, they shoot their power straight up. No, because they don't want to. You don't combine the power. Shoot it behind.
Or
shoot it behind.
Two wizards with no power at all, actually, right?
Wow.
You know what? That's the meanest thing anybody's ever said to me, sir. Good day.
I got a new shirt. If Babone is listening, it's me and Daniel as wizards, but instead of shooting at each other, we're shooting the opposite direction.
Opposite direction. No confrontation.
We're shooting our powers.
We're the easygoing wizards, is what they call us. Easygoing wizards.
So, Matt, the front office at a storage facility.
That's only for old people to die in.
That's correct.
I'm fascinated by it because when I went in there, instead of just booking it online or whatever, like I should have.
Go in there.
You can book it online. Kangaroos don't know how to use computers.
Well, I'm a dumb old man, so I went into the office, which was a huge mistake because it was a bunch of dusty U-Haul boxes.
But didn't it feel good? Because it's kind of like walking back into your own mind.
Was the clerk shocked that somebody walked through the door?
Yes, he was like, "What?" And then
where have you come from? Have you come from the future?
I'm like, "I'm here for a unit, sir," and I'm not even joking. He's like, "It's cheaper if you book it online."
Hilarious.
And then
he's like, "Stop making me work."
And so you didn't even take his advice. You still booked it there.
No. I stood there and booked it on my phone so he could give me the key.
That's awesome. You know I support that.
Or he can give me the gate code or whatever the hell.
That's
anyway,
fantastic.
And I've never been in there since, and I've never even seen anybody go in there since. I go to the storage unit a lot.
I've only been there one time. You only go there to masturbate.
Well,
I understand.
I use it for
so
personal.
Here's the thing. That old man probably lives there. That office is most likely attached to a little apartment. Most of these storage facilities are set up as like a resident manager type of.
Hold the phone.
This is Daniel's dream job.
It is my dream job. Oh my God! And then at 1 a.m. I just shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Shut it. Shut it. And then once, every night at 1:30, I walk outside at 1:30 a.m. and I just walk up and down the aisle. Nobody there. And I just walk up and down.
Someone lives there.
Swinging the keys, whistling.
Whistling, toot my toot pin, just walking around.
Let's get Matt back on.
Okay, sorry, Matt. I didn't mean to be mean to you, but you were interrupting my dream.
So, Matt,
sorry.
You were saying most of the people that manage those places actually live there?
Yeah, they're resident manager facilities most of the time.
Cool. I didn't know that.
So, I didn't either.
How does that work as far as pay? Is part of their pay include
free rent,
like free house and board,
free rent, free utility? But then you're working for like minimum wage.
Yeah, that's okay though. I just want to be left alone. Give me minimum wage, pay all my bills, and just let me sleep in my little cave, my little kangaroo cave.
So, Matt, let's talk about people living inside storage facilities because it seems like it happens a lot more than I would expect because I would think that they would frown upon that and kick people out as soon as they even thought that was happening. But more people do it than I would expect. So is it cool? Like, is there some law like, hey, if you rent it, you could be in there for 23 and a half hours? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You have to be, you know.
Right. Well, a lot of dads will go in there and they got their woodworking equipment, or they got like a couch in there, and they're sitting in there watching Miami play, whatever.
Like, I rent a place, and I'm like, let's just say, I'm like, hey, I want to stay in there all day and all night. Like, well, how does that work?
Now, also, real quick, before he answers, Ghost of Manute Bull in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/TommyDidLive, he says, I once applied to work at a kangaroo storage over by UCF. They did indeed lump in a little apartment on property as part of the benefits package. I declined because I couldn't imagine pumping my wife in a storage unit apartment. Fair enough.
You couldn't imagine that? That's all I imagined.
Not bad.
It's kind of like the goal.
Go ahead, Matt.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so living in the storage units, it's definitely a problem. Like, if you get caught, the storage unit will get fined, you'll end up getting fired. They usually have posted hours that you can be in there until, like, 10 or 11. You can sometimes get a 24-hour unit, but it's usually like a corporate rental, like maybe for you guys. And usually, like in Florida, it's no good because you'd need an AC unit, and that's kind of expensive for somebody who is, needing to live in a unit. So the only other time I had it was a guy had an electrical unit, and he was living in an outdoor unit, but he had to leave the door open because there's no way to get in and out without the door open, so we caught him, like, the first night.
So...
Oh, couldn't he crack it like a cat? Like,
well,
I see people do that.
It was cracked open, and he had his TV on.
Oh, idiot.
Yeah, I was out walking my dog, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, we have somebody living in a unit.
So let's talk.
Leave him alone.
Yeah, like, what if this guy had made his presence known?
What does he do?
And I walked over to you and I gave you a hundo and I said, yo, things are really bad between me and my wife. Help me out here, man. Hide me.
Or if you had a hundo, you just stay in a hotel.
No. I don't want to stay in a hotel. She's going to find me there. You know nothing about hiding from your family. Jesus Christ. Hotel? Are you crazy? That's the first place I look.
So, Matt.
I think most people would take the bribe, but you can get fired. So it's a would you bet your job scenario.
Yeah, but I mean,
so Matt,
we are the kangaroo storage of podcasts. So,
what's the policy on the auction of the storage unit? How long do you give the person before you auction it off?
Nice.
And
it's a personal question. Are we about to have all our stuff auctioned off?
No,
I ain't got anything in there. So
I don't either.
Well, it's all garbage. It seems like anybody who would abandon a storage unit is going to be full of garbage, and whoever
they're desperately sloppy, right?
And you're just bidding on garbage. That whole storage wars thing, a lot of that stuff is planted, and like 1 out of 100 may have treasure in it. How does that work?
So as soon as you miss 2 months in a row, you're eligible. So they hit you with 2 late fees and a lien
that
fee.
seems fast.
And then we only have 4 auctions a year, 1 every quarter. So if you're eligible, and we just had an auction, the ticker keeps running until the next auction. So by the time, all the late fees and all the additional rents are due, you probably thought you owed $200, but we'll show you that you owe like $1,000.
Oh my God.
And do people bid a lot for stuff in storage units? And is there ever anything good in there?
So we do sell them, right? So, and it not unlike the show, there are like a regular cast of characters that come out to bid on this stuff, and these people do have like trashy antique stores and secondhand stores and stuff like that. So every unit gets sold, and some actually get sold for like a lot of money based on how big they are and how much stuff is in them. But as far as good stuff in there, no, I've never seen anybody. I did it for like 5 years. I never saw anyone get anything that was worth more than like a couple $1,000.
Also, it makes sense that, like, if you own the storage unit, like, you'd open it up and see if there's any good stuff and take the good stuff before you auctioned. Like, is there any law against that? Or
you mean like just like, I don't want to throw this away. You know what? I'm just going to let them auction it off. Who cares?
No, I'm saying if you own the storage unit and then someone didn't pay and you're about to auction and you open it up, and if there's good stuff, you just take it.
Oh, you mean as the company, Kangaroo, or the manager?
Or the manager, Like you wouldn't auction, like if there's a bunch of cash in there, you just
check it out first, right? And get the good stuff.
So, we didn't do it that way. I'm sure there's some companies that did it that way. Our way was a corporate person came out, we drilled and cut the locks. They put one of those, like a little electrical tag on there to show that we didn't open it. There was a chain of custody. We put our lock on it, and then our lock and the tag come off on the day of the auction. Huh. So, I mean, yeah, definitely people could go in there and do that. You know, we never got into any of that. Honestly, it's not worth it. It's all garbage in there.
Have you ever had a tenant, or so I shouldn't say tenant, but I guess a client or somebody who has a storage unit pass away in the unit?
Not in the unit.
Outside the unit?
Yes, on top of the unit. Yes, on the roof.
So, Matt.
Parked in his truck outside of the unit.
Oh, what, he kill himself? Can't find my baseball cards.
No, he passed of some type of natural cause.
Oh, man, well, that's a rough one. You go. That's like you. You go up there
Yeah,
to check
that's how
to
I
see
die.
if you, you go up there, you're like,
I'm still paying for this, and then I die of anger.
Well, you know, you see the dead body, and you call 911, and you think, okay, this is going to be like a weird Thursday.
Yeah. No, I got you.
So, Matt, going back to what we're doing, and we're doing exactly what they want us to do, and I'll explain why we're doing it. It's just like why everybody does it, laziness. But so they get you to rent a storage unit, and then they slowly increase your rent, because I didn't read any of the fine print that you could do that. It's not a locked-in rate. And so now we're paying like $120 more than we originally started.
Right.
And every time I see the money get taken out of our account, I'm like, oh, God, it's only garbage in there. I need to clean this.
Yeah.
But I'm too lazy.
I don't even know what's in there.
To go and get all
been there.
Yeah,
I feel like Butler, that's weird that
I think he's sworn to silence.
Yeah, but it's like a weird silence because he and Butler aren't getting along. So there's like, I feel like Butler's
gonna blackmail you.
I feel like Butler's gonna release the tapes and show like a video of everything inside there, and it's gonna ruin our company somehow because there's stuff that shouldn't be in there.
I cleaned some high chairs and some other stuff. Anyway, so that's
release the tapes.
What the hell?
That's their plan, right? And they'll just keep doing that until I'm paying $800 a month, or is there a cap?
I don't think there's a cap. I can tell you what I would do if you want to know what I would do.
Yeah.
Help us.
Yeah, have Butler go down there and rent another storage in someone else's name and just move all your stuff over.
Yeah,
so get your
people do that a lot.
You know,
they jump units.
I saw someone do that when I went to get the high chairs.
Why did you tell me about that?
Well, I didn't know what he was doing.
You got to work the system, man.
I went.
What do you mean?
You got to do it every 6 months.
Every 6 months, and they know that we do this, and they don't stop that. They're like,
well,
sorry.
most people won't. Most people are too lazy.
What is that old man going to do?
Yeah.
Sure.
You're just renting the unit, like because
but if he does walk out there and he's like, "Today's the day I stop this," then you're pushing him over.
But isn't that the definition of insanity? If I just rent another unit to move garbage from one place to the other,
I feel like that's like helping your
No,
abuser in some way.
what's more insane is you paying more and more every year for the same trash being stored.
What I need to do is just go throw that garbage away.
But he's going back to the abusive relationship. Like we are, like we're so abused by this place that we're like, no, it's fine. It's our
be
our
loyal to
We'll
him.
move our stuff to another unit. And you can keep beating us and spitting in our face. And
so I'll have to do it again. And
no, I'm not doing
years.
You know what?
Save your pennies, man.
This is just like any relationship that is abusive. This is an abusive.
I have to flee.
Yeah, we have to get out of here.
I have to take all my garbage with me, Amber.
Is there a home for young dads who are abused by storage units so we can take our stuff and without judgment put all our stuff in a room, and then these other dads will take us in? It's like a halfway house. We come in, we bring our stuff, and they're like, we know you've been abused by this storage unit. We're going to take you in with your stuff. You can stay here for a couple weeks until you find a place to put all your crap, your trash.
Oh, Matt, I got to ask you about insurance. So when I first got the storage unit, they're like, do you have enough insurance to cover all your stuff? I'm like, yes, I don't want it. And they're like, well, you could buy it from us. And I'm like, I don't want it. I have enough.
But you bought it, didn't you?
Well, no, they just started charging me. They're forcing me to do it. And they're like, I don't want it. I'm like, it's just garbage. It doesn't need to be insured. And they're like, yeah, you have to have it.
Expensive. It's usually through a company called Bader. They have an attachment rate that they have to keep, so they have like 90% of all units have to have that Bader insurance, or they'll get fired.
Bader?
It's like
you got the insurance for the old broken deer. We have 5 broken Christmas animatronic deer in there. We have bags of trash. We have what else is in there?
The sofa's
the
not even in there.
body of Wes Wally, our old intern.
Sofa?
Our BDM
level.
He's putting it together.
What else is in there? I want to know what's in there. Do you have your old Drunk in the Bear ramp in there? You clinging to memories? You clinging to memories in there?
No, there's a bunch of the show stuff. There's a Sapo game.
It's funny that you always lead with show stuff. But yeah.
There's banners.
When's the last time you've even used that Sapo?
Butler, get in there, Butler.
Right. So Butler
knows. Butler knows that I could get it out of him.
That's the truth, Butler.
Me and Butler were supposed to go there to unravel the banners.
Unravel the mystery of the banners.
Ghost of Manute Bull said he was trying to buy some outdated banners.
I told him no one wants it.
What happened?
He wants it.
He doesn't want it.
There's a company that said they would make purses for women out of our old banners.
No, that was a lie. No one wants to do nothing.
Okay. What's in the... Come clean. What's in the unit?
Man, there's just a bunch of crap.
Okay, by crap, I want specifics.
Couple examples.
Yeah, give me some examples here.
I think I may have seen a filing cabinet.
A filing cabinet?
That's what taxes.
There's definitely a filing cabinet. There's a filing cabinet in every unit.
That's true. It comes with the unit. You could put your back taxes in there, taxes you're not paying, and what else is in there?
When I was in there was definitely a couple high chairs. There was
I got the high chairs out.
You got the high chairs out. Okay.
Oh, good.
What'd you do with them? Put them in your house.
But I put some other baby stuff back in. So
you're always trading.
Yeah. So Matt, how good of a business is this? Because it seems like if you owned a storage unit company, like pretty awesome. You have one manager who's basically a homeless guy that works for minimum wage. Everybody does their stuff online. You scam every customer you have and increase their storage rent, and they're too lazy to go move their stuff. It seems
they don't
like,
even know.
Why don't more people say, hey, invest into a storage unit place? It's just all pure income, right?
Yeah, it's a license to print money, especially the ones that are just parking, so there's no facility. It's just like an empty lot with a fence around it. Those are the best ones.
That's why I had my boat, and they scammed me.
I like those.
And they kept charging me 6 months.
I will tell you.
The old man Bob.
Nothing sells the allure of having a boat better than loading up with all your tropical, like you got your pump subs, you got the beer for days, you got the coolers, and then you drive up to a stinky lot and you go in and you get your boat. Oh my God. It just sells Jimmy Buffett does the same thing when he goes out on his boat.
We need to invest into a storage unit. Like, I feel
there's no land.
Well, I mean, we'll just buy, one for sale. There's like mom and pop storage units around town.
I'm in.
And then your boat parking, RV parking.
Stop paying for our own unit.
Did Colonial Lanes finally change to a storage unit?
No, they're not doing nothing with that. They had them paint murals on the side of it. By the way, this still makes me mad that the city of Orlando allowed those goddamn bowling murals to go up. But when Tom and I were doing Orlando City and had to get murals up, we had to pull permits. Take one of those with you, city of Orlando. You have no rhyme or reason for nothing.
So, Matt, your best piece of advice is to just switch the storage unit from one to the other and then get the base rate again, and then it just starts going up.
Start it over again. Start from day one.
Yeah. Is there
the best advice is to clean it out and just not use it. But you guys won't do that probably. So, yeah, move it and make Butler do it.
Well, I would say
he don't want to do nothing.
If there is nothing of value in there, and if it is all of your stuff and not anything show related, I would like to vote for my half of the company not paying any longer.
What?
Yeah. I know this will tear the show apart.
Well, I don't want to pay.
Well, then we have to clean it out.
I don't want to do that either.
Well, we're not going to do it. We're going to make Butler do it.
Can we just stop paying?
And EJ. EJ has to do it for his bid. If he doesn't clean it out, no bid ever again.
Matt.
It's dead.
There's a bum that lives in our storage place. He can clean it out.
Okay, that guy and EJ. That's fine with me.
Is it better because I'm too lazy to go clean it out and there's nothing valuable in there?
Oh, that's true.
Can I just cancel the credit card and just stop paying and let it go to auction? Who cares? Let someone else clean it out.
If it dawns on us that something of value's in there, we'll just go down there and bid on it.
No, because, like I said, they'll show you guys that you owe like $1,000 or $1,500.
That's our business credit. Right? I don't care about that. I got good credit.
When they sell the unit, they'll sell it for like $200 or $300, and they're going to send $1,700 to collections on your personal account, on your name, or your business account. So, no, not really a great idea.
That's fine. I've dealt with that before.
You let us deal with the creditors, sir. We know our way around that.
They call me old Tommy Collections. Lots of collections happen in my life. They'll call me. I just don't answer the phone. It's easy. It's easy.
It's
so easy not to pay your debt.
It is.
It is. Like
you
nothing.
just don't do anything.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing will happen. They don't come after you. They just keep calling you. You just don't answer.
They're not going to arrest you.
And eventually, it disappears. That's true.
I can't disagree with that.
Like, yeah. What? Like, who cares? I mean, yeah, you got bad credit.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, let it go to auction. You're right.
All right, I like that.
Oh,
Wait a minute. I kind of feel like you're taking a little bit of your storage unit knowledge. I kind of feel like you're big D'ing us right now, sir. Yeah. And I don't appreciate that very much.
So, Matt, what did you get paid? Did you live on the property and do that whole thing?
Oh, man, this is embarrassing. Yeah, I lived on property and I did that whole thing, and I got paid. So I had free room and board. Well, not board, but free rent, free utility.
Can you have friends over? Can you have like a rager?
What's the rules? Is the rules you can have as many people as you want?
I would open up every unit.
How big is your space?
I'd open up every unit. I'd have the supervillains play and drinking tonight.
Is your apartment an obvious storage unit? Like, did they just put
just a regular apartment, just attached to the office.
Is it cool at least?
Is it a studio? What are we talking?
Yeah, you got Wi-Fi?
You got a full kitchen?
It was, a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment with a full kitchen,
Nice.
and the cooler ones are usually built like on the second floor of the office.
So you can overlook your tenants. I'm up here. I'll be down in a minute after I have my lunch.
So is it like because someone has to man the desk.
This is my dream job.
This is a pretty
Monday,
sweet job.
like all week. So you have to work a certain amount of hours a day. Like, what was your work schedule?
I worked, 50 hours a week or something like that. I had one full day off, and I had like a short day on Saturday. We were closed on Sundays, and Saturday we were open for like a half a day. And if I remember this correctly, I was making like $28,000 on top of the free rent, free utility. So it was pretty rough.
I mean,
it's not a lot of money. The free room and board does help.
Yeah, but the job is super easy. You just sit behind a desk, right? I mean,
it'd be a great job if you had another online job that killed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only
you could be rich.
The only downfall to this job, it seems, is dealing with customers, because it seems like a certain precision or a percentage of the customers are going through hard times, or like some sort of rough patch where they needed the storage unit, or like,
right.
And then
there is a level of desperation for some tenants, yes.
And then
for me, using my chirping, if I were in his position, I would use my chirping to become friends with most regulars that are there most of the time. Follow me with this. So I'm getting the free room and board. I'm getting $28,000, right? So what I do is I become friends with these old men that have collections of garbage, and then I start getting little bits of their garbage and selling it online to supplement my income. Right?
Okay,
yeah. And then if I find something really good that they have, I gauge the level of how senile they are, and maybe I even steal from them in the middle of the night and sell it online.
How many?
Right? Yeah. Right?
Matt, what's the percentage of just straight up hoarders? That's
a great question.
I feel like it's got to be 25% hoarders.
No, it's higher than that. It's probably like 60%.
Oh! Well, what do you classify as a hoarder? Because you just have trash in there, so aren't you hoarding trash?
Yeah, he's a hoarder.
Yeah, Tom's a hoarder.
100% he's a hoarder.
Well, I'm more of a lazy...
what do you think?
No, hoarder's a mental illness.
Again, what do you think you're doing?
You're more of like a cool hoarder.
Well,
you are everything you hate.
You're like a hoarder.
I am what I am.
You're a hoarder wearing 8-bit cool sunglasses in a meme.
Because
one meme a month.
The sad part about the hoarder is they'll just pack their entire unit from butt to bottom to top, filled with garbage.
I thought you were going to say from butt to
Me
nut.
too.
And then they'll visit their garbage every once in a while.
Yeah, they'll kind of survey their garbage.
And then really it's just they're paying to keep garbage. Oh my God, I am a hoarder.
So I went to second unit and fill it with garbage too.
Let's get rid of it this week.
Other garbage unit.
This will help you. This has been coming up too often. This week, it's only Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Today's the day, buddy. Today, we make the moves to eliminate this from your life. We make a positive step in the right direction.
Well,
here's
I thought I almost got him. He took a big deep breath.
No, he's sad about it. He doesn't want to let go of his trash.
Well, where are we going to put this?
You definitely should get a smaller unit. There's no way you need the whole unit you've got. Everyone's got two
baby steps
of the storage unit.
Baby steps.
Well, we started because we needed a unit the size to fit Daniel's mom's trailer.
Yeah,
and
she
now
died, though.
We don't
I don't
have
know if
the
you know that,
trailer.
sir. My mother is deceased.
And then we got to fit the Sofa and Suds sofa in there, the Tom and Dan sofa, unless we can... you think we could put it in Paul's warehouse somewhere, like after the BDM? Because what are we going to do with a giant sofa on wheels?
Just push it into the road and leave it there.
We'll use it every year.
You worry too much. I mean, we'll get another one next year. We'll just be like, free sofa, where's the sofa out there? Somebody will bring us one. Like,
people throw out sofa all the time.
You worry too much. Like this sofa, you know what I do after we pushed it? I would just leave it where it is. Never come back to it.
Yeah, but then next year, we have to go through getting another sofa and then getting...
Well, we have to do that anyway, because normally we go, where's our sofa? We don't even know where we kept our sofa. It's always...
It was in the unit!
It's been rebuilt 3 years in a row.
So,
that's true.
Matt, when you had people over to your house at the unit, were you embarrassed?
To go out looking, right? You were tempted to get people with flashlights and go out there and start digging through people's panty drawers.
Did you bring any women back to the unit?
So I was young enough that it wasn't that embarrassing. I was with my wife, but she was my girlfriend at the time. That part was a little embarrassing. But we had a golf cart on the storage facility, so we could take the golf cart around at night. So when I did have people over, yeah, it was fun.
You know what I would do if there was one particular old man that was really grinding my gears? I'd go to his unit with my wife, and I would do unspeakable sex acts on his family pictures.
Did you ever have anybody leave their entire sliding door all the way up for multiple days before they realized it and rushed back and closed it and didn't tell anybody, including their wife, that they left the unit door open for days?
It is. Yeah, he does this a lot. You'll hear him just yell things on the show and then never revisit them. It's usually him just
waiting to see what the reaction is.
He's more like making peace with his own mind.
So no, not for full days, Tom.
Okay, all right. I was just wondering if you.
Right.
So I wondered the goods. You're the king.
I wondered if the caretaker would close it like he did with ours.
Don't caretaker.
We close it and put our lock on it.
All right, let's see.
That's nice. That's nice.
So, all right, Matt. Hey, let me ask you a final question. Is there any negotiation, like if I called the place and said, hey, you've been upping my rate, can I just go back to the original rate or I'm going to leave? It's kind of like you do that with cable companies when people on cable. It
actually works with cable companies.
You tell Bright House, they're like, I'm going to DirecTV if you don't drop my bill. And they're like, all right.
You know where else it works? Really, this is a tip, Daniel's tip of the day. XM Sirius Satellite Radio. If you're into that, call them right now and tell them you're about to leave. You hate this. It's crap and it's outdated. They will literally drop you down to like $1 a month.
Oh my
They'll
God.
be like, it's $1 a month. Fine. We don't care. Whatever. Just give us something. Give me any 12 cents. I'll take it. They don't care. My wife does it every year and it keeps going down. What a value.
So the short answer is no. They're not going to be able to negotiate the rate down on the unit that you've got. They've got to move you out of that one and into a new one.
Can you pay to have an old man move you? Do they have a service where you can pay like an extra $100 and they have some teens push all our trash over to a new unit?
Yeah, they probably have movers, but it's way more than $100.
Yeah, that's all right. We're gonna cancel. We're canceling EJ's bit. We'll make up the money a little bit there.
If they're cool, they might let you move out of that unit without actually moving out of it and start a new contract in that same unit. But that you'd have to negotiate that.
That's what Tom wants.
Probably won't do it.
That's what you want. But you've already pissed off these people, right? Does Bill still or Bob or whatever the
That's guy? A different. No, that's the boat storage. I left there.
Okay,
this is like the public storage.
There's a lot of storage tales. You should do a podcast about all of your storage adventures.
So, Matt,
you can call it Storage Wars.
I was going to say Storage Tours, but
oh, that's even better. Star Tours.
Write that one down.
Thanks for being a weird job. We appreciate you telling us about storage units. I feel like
I dream of that little apartment. That would be so awesome.
It seems like a great business to own, except for like having to deal with the customers,
chase down money, I guess.
and chase that. But it's once they sign the contract, then it's just like if they stop paying, it goes into the auction, and it's probably just automated, right?
I couldn't work there. I'm too curious about what everybody have in their unit. So at night, if I work there, like I'm just being honest. I'm too curious. I would get my mag light and I would go out there on my golf cart.
You know people do that.
And I'm being honest about it because I know nobody wants to be honest and say that they're type of like.
Well, you couldn't go through someone's unit. They have the personal lock on there.
Well, once I put my lock on is all I'm saying.
Okay,
I'm not saying I'm going to go through everybody's unit every night. I'm just saying once it's been breached in some way and I got a way in, I'm going through your stuff.
Yeah. But I guess it's all just hoarder garbage. That's the sad part. It's nothing interesting at all ever is in the storage unit.
Sometimes it's fun to go. I like to write the narrative. Like if I'm going through like an old abandoned like building, I like to open all the drawers and let's say I find a pamphlet in there for like a Chinese restaurant. And I'll start looking at it, and I'll be like, "Oh my God, I bet this was the last thing they ate before the murderer killed them." You know, like I
write your own story.
Yeah, I write my own narrative in my head, and I use my imagination to create a really crazy tale.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I wonder, like, if there is anything at all of value in a storage unit, what scenario caused it to be there? Like someone dying, right?
Juan had a good one where
you stored something valuable, but then you died. No one knew.
That's probably the number one. Juan in our Twitch chat room, and we're live on Twitch right now, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. Juan said that a YouTuber bought a storage unit for maybe a couple grand or something, I think locally, and it had belonged to a former astronaut. So inside the storage unit were like good baseball cards, like some good football cards, and a couple Rolexes, like stuff that you would think would be in a ex-astronaut storage unit. You know,
this was recently in the news. Wow. There was a guy, I believe it was a storage unit. He actually found a brand new Super Mario Brothers 2. Video game.
I saw that.
And it was recently auctioned off for $85,000 in the package. But he found it. It was just
shrink wrap
behind something.
It was shrink wrap. That's where you get the shrink wrap money.
Antique stuff. But like, who would store Rolexes or anything of value in like a self-storage unit? You know,
you
weird.
Say that,
it's
but
bizarre,
I will remind you that my wife's mother was throwing away a Rolex because the band had been soldered. What? I started losing my mind. Remember the story? She was like throwing it away because the band was like messed up and it didn't have any value and maybe she didn't know what kind of watch it was. I had her dig back through the trash and find it and give it to me, and then I sent it away to Rolex to get repaired. So there are people that don't know what they have, don't care, it's not sentimental to them. It's literally just, I got to move all this stuff. Oh, it was in there. Remember, my mom's jewelry was misplaced when she passed away and stuck in a tiny little cloth, wrapped up like you would if you were hiding it from people that would rob your home, and stuck in the back of a tiny little ceramic jewelry box that I'd never seen before. And had my wife not gone through everything, it would have gone to auction.
Yeah, I mean, there's just mistakes that happen, and then
the only thing we can put together is that my mom, got concerned. It didn't fit her fingers anymore because of arthritis, so she just tried to hide it the craziest place she could think of where no one would ever find it. I'm like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
She probably should have told me. That got real close, man. That would have been real bad.
If you like the storage unit places that have like parking for boats and RVs, it is some of the saddest dilapidated boats and RVs you'd ever see, and you do ask yourself, like, why are you paying for a parking space to park an old mildew RV that's obviously never been run? It's like
the airport, dude. Have you seen the graveyard of planes over here? Yeah, I'm obsessed with it. When I drive by it, I'm like, why is that there? Who owns it? Why has it been there?
And I know people that like they just basically age out of being able to do anything about like the stuff that they have, and the only thing they could do is just keep paying the payment to store the stuff, even though that they'll never use it. And it's a weird thing, and it's like, but they won't, like, maybe they can't even go and get the thing and sell it, because they've aged out.
Right.
So the only it's either stop making payments or get the thing moved and sold, and it's like easier just to keep paying, right?
And the dream, it's almost like the dream, that hook, it has its hook in them, right?
Yeah.
So it's able to take your rational thought and almost like blind you to it, right? So like right now, there's certain, like right now, if I had, remember my 1940 UL? I had a Harley Davidson 1940 flathead UL engine that I was going to build into a motorcycle. I got no time for that then. Certainly got no time for that now. But if I had that right now, it would still be like, I'd still be fighting this dream, right? I'd be like, oh, I got this dream. I'll make this bike. I'm going to make this bike. I'm going to make this bike. I'm not going to make this bike. It's just got its hooks in me. I want to make that bike. I don't have the time. I don't know enough to do it on my own. I would need to have a guy that knows antique bikes really come in, give me some knowledge. You know, I did as much as I could, right?
Yeah,
and then finally, it was my wife, though. It was Andrea, really, that was like, hey, you know, you could probably get a lot of money for that engine. It's very coveted. You're just not doing anything with it. She was right.
Dude, there are way more hoarders in our society than we even know, and everybody's on the spectrum of hoarding. And like this is a spectrum of hoarding. Like obviously we got.
Why do you think I got to clean my desk every couple of months? Yeah. Sam will remind me. She's like, "You're looking a little stinky."
But then you get into the higher spectrums, and it's like people will fill their house and property full of stuff that they'll never use. And rationally, you could go to each thing and look at it and be like, "This is never going to get used. You'll never use this." And like. They have an emotional connection to it, and that's the problem. And then it goes all the way till you fill your entire house. But I think there's a lot of people like 2 steps under the filling your entire house that just have rooms and storage units filled with stuff that they'll never ever use, and they just keep paying for. And I bet a huge economy is just on the making money off the mental illness of hoarding.
You and I
most storage units are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and I've done it a little bit, like with jet ski, scooter, right? My 1959 scooter.
That's different than hoarding.
But like, I'm not using it is my point. It's sitting in my garage.
It's a spectrum of hoarding.
It's literally sitting there. I should be riding it to work. I don't know. I need a Vespa mechanic that can help me with it. I need a guy that knows 1950s Vespas.
Like there's, an element of most dads' garages that have areas where you look at
go in there,
and there's probably 100 pounds of stuff that will never be used.
I got it.
That you could punt in like half cans of spray paint, like all that stuff too.
Yes,
it's
sir.
Like oils, like
yes, sir. Half cans of spray paint's a good one because I cannot bite the bullet of throwing out the pink can of spray paint.
Dude, I've got.
I might need it.
A bunch of half gallons of paint from painting our house, and like a huge like a half 5-gallon tub of paint that from my my patio, that like all these stuff that is like, am I gonna touch up my patio? Maybe I'm gonna keep this giant thing. I'm like, what am I doing? And like gardening stuff and pots and things that like all this like little bric-a-brac that you probably never use, like. How many empty cans of WD-40?
Oh, God, I have all that. Oh, God, I saved those little sticks. The ones I taped to the side of the WD-40, the little red stick.
Rusty tools.
I still have giant tubs full of beer coasters that I have for my beer trading days. It's like tubs, like hundreds of pounds of goddamn coasters.
Yeah.
And then you're like, why? Like, I'll never, and then you get to the point where you get to the age where you start realizing, like, my kids are gonna be cleaning this out when I'm dead, because that will happen. Because every time some parent dies, they clean their stuff and they just punt all this garbage that they've been holding for decades. They just punt it in the trash.
I wonder if the psychology. I wonder if the psychology has something to do with you being able to see it. If you were able to go to your garage and it's in there, but because for you, I think. And me, I think we have an extreme difficulty of taking whatever we have and going, well, this isn't useful anymore. This is now going to go into the dump. This is now trash.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not emotionally attached to it. I don't want to throw it in the landfill.
Yeah, you're adding to the problem
because then I'm like, well, I'm going to buy a new one day instead of, and then punt this in the landfill. Like the damn high chairs. Yes. I didn't want to punt a perfectly good high chair in the landfill. Goodwill wouldn't take it, and I would just want to donate it to someone.
Goodwill wouldn't take it?
No.
They don't take like high chairs because of safety reasons, I think. Like defective or something.
I'm almost certain I've seen high chairs at Goodwill.
It may be a new thing.
Weird.
We don't know
be different thrift stores,
it could be a new thing.
Yeah, I went out. They're like, no, we don't take those, sir. It's like perfect, and so I'm giving it away just because, partly because I don't want to punt it in the landfill.
Man.
Yeah.
BDM parenting group.
No, we're doing that. It's but it's more about waste than it is about emotionally attached to things. And like scrap pieces of wood, I have a whole corner of my garage of a bunch of scrap woods. And then I'm like, maybe instead of buying, what am I going to do? Build a rocking chair? I'll never use it.
I have that, and the number of times that I do woodworking is 0. That's what I'm saying. I literally have scrap wood, and I'm like, I'll be using that when I'm doing what, Tom? Name the last time. I don't even own a saw, and I have a wood pile in my garage.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. EJ is here.
What's going on, guys?
Do we want to do this, or do we
let's
want to like? Are we going to have the State of the Union first, or are we going to like? What do you want to do here?
I don't know. Do you want to do your intro first, or
do whatever you want?
Let's do the intro.
Nerds. Nerds. Nerds.
Jock, nerd, jock, nerd.
It's Nerd Jock with EJ. What's going on, EJ?
Well, I'm not feeling appreciated, so I applied for a job on YouTube's Comics Explained, and I got an offer. So you guys are going to start paying me, or do I got to go somewhere else?
If you're being
taking
serious,
your talents to
I'm taking my
YouTube?
talents to YouTube.
I would be careful.
Comics Explained?
What is it?
Because I learned from you guys. Didn't your bosses at the radio station said if the only way you're going to get paid more is if you have a better offer?
Yeah, but we were talented. You know, like we had something to offer that should program. The State of the Union on your bit, and the real of it, and I'm being real here, and I'm trying to be, because I know we're all joking around, but I am trying to be like diplomatic and fair. Mm-hmm. We have never had a bit more polarizing than Nerd Jock. And it's gotten to the point where the hate mail, and I'm looking at I know Tom doesn't like this stuff, but we're doing it. The hate mail is too much. So either we're at a crossroads where either we're going to have to either put more effort into the bit and make the bit better, or I do think we're going to have to cancel.
Well, we got an idea. And this is an idea that's a win-win for everybody. So I mean, you could put it in the Venn diagram of impossible tasks.
Well, I mean,
not there yet.
And I know you sound dissatisfied, and now you sound upset. But if you look at it from our perspective, are we supposed to make this bit a storage unit that we just forget about and not care about and just let it continue on for forever? Or are we supposed to actually try and fix the problem and make it better? Okay.
So people like your bit,
and they like
when you get the information
they like
right.
You. It's not about you. Everybody likes you. It's about the bit being really bad.
No. It's just the information. Because I saw the other side of it on the BDM page, and everybody's like, I like EJ's bit. You talk about some jock stuff, some nerd stuff.
Yes.
The main gripe, and really, people like your personality, they like the idea of the bit, because honestly, it's just you bringing up some sports and nerd topics,
and
then we shoot it around.
Most of the time, I just give the topic and let you guys.
Yeah. That's what I found. They have the problem with the misinformation.
Yeah, they do.
And that's so I got a
But
perfect.
does anybody come to Tom and Dan for correct information?
Well, we didn't think so, but obviously they did.
yeah.
This is their only news outlet.
Yeah, I think it's pretty on brand, but
they don't get mad at us. They get mad at EJ for the misinformation.
Right.
We can do whatever we want.
Because
we can shoot someone in the streets.
Yeah.
Exactly. They don't care. They'll follow us to hell.
That's true. That is absolutely true.
So we just told everybody else to a higher
I'm a bumbling idiot. I can't even read. They're like, do whatever you want, Tom. We love you. And I'm like, all right. And they're like, you're so stupid. I'm like, I am.
You know what I do? I just move barricades. I'm doing it all. Let's do it.
And so they don't care. They're like, of course you get it wrong. You're special needs. You're an idiot.
And they know, they look at us, and then he'll say something, and it'll be wrong. Like EJ will say something, it'll be wrong, and then we'll just start. I don't care. Oh, yeah. And they know I don't care, so I'm never they're never like, oh, great job, Dan, you screwed it all. No, they're just like, Dan doesn't care. We're trying to fix this.
Yeah. So we figured out an idea.
We did figure out an idea.
So now it doesn't count for today because we didn't give you any heads up.
Yeah,
so
this one's a freebie.
Yeah, this one.
I don't know if I even know what this is.
It's going to be riddled with misinformation.
Yeah, this one, feel free to sow your wild misinformation oats.
Oh, okay.
So you can do whatever.
Go hard in the paint.
But moving forward in the next one, if there's any, and now we may not know until the next day until listen because the listener.
It's like fantasy football because we're going to have to go and add up the points.
I have Google.
The hive intelligence of our listeners will let us know what you got wrong if you did get something wrong. So moving forward from this day on, if you get anything wrong in your segment. Now, this doesn't count if we ask you some questions that maybe easy questions. This counts.
It should have been part of the research.
If I'm asking some question, now you can say I don't know. Just be truthful and be like I don't know that. Now, if you should know and it's easy enough to know, that's against you.
If you just read the headline, you got excited. So this is great for the show, and I'm going to go in blind.
Well, just a breeze and just some information. Easy. Anyway, so if you get something wrong and the listener calls you out and says, like, EJ got this wrong, totally wrong,
One mousetrap.
No, 1 week suspension of your bit. And then we let someone else, a guest host, do your bit.
A guest host come in.
Yeah, like we could do, there's a bunch of people that offered. Like,
we always say Christrima. She doesn't do that.
I was the
first person we think of.
And Christrima. But
we're bringing her up. Look. When
1 week suspension.
When when your wide receiver 1 goes out, you bring in your wide receiver 2.
Yeah, multiple things wrong, 2 week suspension. That will then give you motivation to get everything right, and then we shouldn't have any problems because the listeners' only problem is the misinformation, and then everybody, it's a win-win scenario. Could be a small impossible task because for sure there's bound to be something wrong, but I feel like that will be good for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Any misinformation, week suspension, and then people are like, all right, and then we.
How do you feel about that? Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
But can I get my lawyer to look at the contract first?
Sure, but if your lawyers are lawyers, then there's a conflict of interest because we had him first, and there's actual money involved with us.
Yeah. This is just a verbal
contract. Yeah.
Trust me, the more you want to ratchet this up is not going to bode well for you.
By the way, this is like the conversation I had with Butler this morning. With Butler's like, all right, I'm getting some questions about this posting political memes on the Medium page. If they're a founder, how many memes are they getting? I'm like, are you asking me this? Is this an adult question that other adults are asking? Anyway.
To be fair, the rules are very loose. One meme a month.
I know. Yeah. They're in there posting like, I got my one. I'm like, check if they're $2.95. I'm like, God damn it.
They got you.
And I'm like, I never thought anybody was too complicated.
Your rules are too complicated.
Oh, wait until you
Nobody even
the Declaration of Rules.
You won't write that down.
All right, let's start.
All right. Okay.
Again, this is a freebie if any misinformation.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, well, moving forward.
This is what I'll do. I'll get some of the stories from listeners because that's what I got the first one from. We're going to start with Jock stuff.
All right.
And did you hear about Texas's special teams coach?
No.
Oh, man. So during Halloween, he left his wife and kids to be with a stripper, and she has a support monkey that bit a trick-or-treater.
Oh, God.
That doesn't sound real.
The name of the stripper is Pole Assassin.
Pole Assassin. I like that. I like all of them.
What?
So
You got to look up the story, Sam. There's so much. It goes and keeps going and keeps going.
So he spent time with the stripper.
No, he left his wife. I'm sorry, I made the story a little bit convoluted.
He left his wife.
I'm correcting it right at the beginning.
No. Convolution, I believe, is misinformation. Hold on a second. We're not.
He left his wife and kids not on Halloween, is what I'm saying. He left her recently for this stripper.
Gotcha.
It's his girlfriend who happens to pole dance.
See, this is kind of what we're talking about.
This counts for next week.
The first segment, the first sentence, we should not.
But I'm fixing this during the segment just to make sure.
But it's too. Do you even practice what you're doing?
I got this from a listener this morning. That's
not my fault.
So I'm blaming the listeners for this. So if I get anything wrong, it should be the listener's fault too.
No. If I
you have to research the story.
If I go to my
it was mostly Twitter.
If I go to my place of business and I'm supposed to provide entertainment for somebody.
Okay.
The excuse cannot be, well, the bum handed me the jokes. That's not the excuse. You can't do that.
Okay.
All right.
So this guy got caught because I'm sure they sent the police or animal control over this person's house where she had a animal support monkey that bit a trick-or-treater.
Trick-or-treater. It was part of her costume, and it bit a trick-or-treater.
What was she?
I don't see the pictures. It only had a picture of her and the monkey. And the monkey is part of her pole dancing as well. And like they have a sign that says, "Don't approach the stage. The monkey will bite you."
He's like a bodyguard.
It's weird that this guy got lumped into the story, right? Because technically it's only her. Like, who her boyfriend is shouldn't matter.
Yeah, I mean,
it's supposed to be like, well,
if he wants to step out on his wife, that's okay.
Yeah, the story's written that it was his monkey, but then it turns out it was the stripper's monkey.
Wait, so they actually get the story wrong in the story?
In the story, yeah. Like Barstool Sports did an article about it. USA Today did one. Like, those are the three sources.
Yeah, I'm kind of like Juan. Juan in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, if you want to watch. Juan says people shouldn't own monkeys. I kind of agree with that.
I agree. Well, any emotional support animal I don't trust.
After that lady that owned a monkey, and then the monkey became an alcoholic, and it got so mad that it asked for wine.
That was a chimp. Yeah. This is a monkey.
Somebody's saying this was a chimpanzee in the chat room too, but
no, it wasn't.
No,
but
it's like a rhesus monkey.
If you, I hate the fact that they can rip your face off. That's bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And even white-faced capuchin named Gia that has her own Instagram page.
Those tiny monkeys, the spider monkeys, the capuchins, all those are mean as hell. Like you go to places like in Costa Rica and other places that have wild monkeys, like they'll come up and like steal your ice cream cone.
They'll do insult it. They do things. They shoot for the jugular, right? They try to do the thing that's going to make you the saddest.
Yeah, they'll throw poop at you. Like they're disgusting.
Steal your churro. Yeah.
They'll push your nachos off your platter.
Next story.
Okay, next story. Well, this one's from high school teams in California. Inglewood High was playing Morningside High in California, and the final score was 106-0. And some of the teams are really mad that this is like such a lopsided.
Inglewood won. I just
what was the other one? Sunnyside.
Inglewood's always up to no good. That's why. Yeah.
I think Sunnyside had a bunch of old white-faced monkeys on the team. They don't do nothing.
Well, the problem was they went for 2 as the final score. And they didn't say why they went for 2, but I think they did it to just rub it in even more because the one quarterback threw 13 touchdowns.
Every once in a while this happens, and people, half the people are like, it's a game's a game. You have to score as much points as possible. And the other half are like, why would you do this? You're just, rub it in their face at this point. It's like you're running up the score. It's like an insult to the team or whatever. And there's no clear, it's all subjective.
Yeah, it's unsportsmanlike, but at the same time, it's like if you go easy on the other team, that's unsportsmanlike too.
I always look at it like it's just a giant waste of time, right? No, it's like, here's my point. It's like, if they're dominating, you don't need to play out the game. You get to halftime and it's 75-0, then you just say, guys, great game, we're done here. Like, we don't need to continue to do that
in baseball. There's some sports where there's a mercy
rule in baseball, like if it's 10 runs, usually in Little League, but also in high school football in Florida, if you're up, I think, 21 points, they have a running clock. It doesn't stop if there's incomplete pass or out of bounds. They just keep it running, so it doesn't become this problem.
And I like that because even Madden, when I'm playing online, like if I'm getting trounced, which happens a lot because I'm not good, the computer will go, "Hey, are you not having fun? Because you're not doing good." And I'll be, and I'll say, "No, I'm not having fun." And it'll say like, "Hey, we'll speed up this game for you and get you out of here, Grandpa." You know what I mean? Like they know it's not fun for anybody. It's not even fun for the kids that are racking up the score and they're not learning anything.
Well, I bet you those kids are like, "Let's see if we can score 100 points." I'm gonna say like that's probably what they went out to do.
Yeah, the quarterback was like, he just accepted to UCLA, so like maybe he's trying to pad his resume too to make sure.
And so,
or to help his friends get scholarships as well.
It's pretty impressive to even if you're playing like a insanely subpar team, to put up 100 points on a team and with football rules is impressive. Like
crazy.
Like that means like even with time of possession, the other team like is 3 and out every single time. Which I'm sure after the 50 they should go 4 possessions. Right? They're not punting anymore. So it's like for that much time taken off the clock, you basically got to score on the first or second play of every possession, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
For it to even be statistically possible. So
and efficiently and quickly.
Yeah.
You run out of time. I try to do it in Madden all the time. You don't have enough time to do it.
Okay, so EJ, let's say we put together a team of dads, like in you, me, Daniel, Travis, Samantha, Samantha's husband, all our wives, whatever. Like,
so we're all playing.
Juan, Eric. Okay, I'm just saying. Right, we put together a football team, right?
Okay.
And we play this team, Inglewood High, right?
All right.
And do you think they could put up more than 108 on us, or is it just even lucky that they even got 108? Because if we're managed to make a couple tackles or disrupt, and just for incomplete passes, You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think I could say things to these kids that would make them so sad. You know what I mean? Like, I think I could attack them with. I think I would attack them.
So
with,
what do we?
I think they're harder
Hail
than you.
Marys every play.
I think they're tougher than you.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
They're tougher than all of us.
They've seen real trauma, experienced it.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, how bad is the Sunnyside?
Chat room weighing in. They think Samantha's the best looking dad out of all of us. I agree with that.
What position would Samantha play?
Tight end. Yeah. Bow, 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 bow.
Next story.
Okay, next story. Well, then we got to talk about the NFL. How'd you do in your gambling this weekend? I
Oh,
heard you had a rough weekend.
God damn it. Cincinnati.
Is this the reason why my bit's going down?
He did that because I brought up the bit punishment, and now he's attacking you. It's not fair. But
My only recourse was I bet $50 of Freddie. And
not $50 Freddie.
That was the Saints game.
The Saints game. And I still
How
got
many
scared.
points did you get?
Well, I asked him for 6, which everybody's like, "Don't take it, Freddie. The line's 4. Come on, I'm like, "Come on." I baited him into it, and he's like, "Fine, I'll take 6."
Playing with their third-string quarterback.
They didn't know that going into the game.
Oh yeah, because Jameis Winston got hurt during the game.
And believe me, when Jameis Winston got hurt, I was like, "No, there it goes!" Immediately, I was like, "No!" And then
I didn't get to see
watching Cincinnati lose.
How was Jameis playing up to that point? I didn't.
It was 7-7 when he got hurt. So and then Trevor Siemian came in and then won. And then you're like, "Well, how much do the quarterbacks actually matter?" Because then with old White, what's his name?
Well, they brought in. Like I was looking at it, there was 6 backup quarterbacks that ended up playing during this weekend. It was crazy.
They started talking about it on Red Zone. They started showing you. They went to all the boxes with all
Mike
the different.
White for the Jets, Geno Smith for Seattle, Trevor Siemens, Cooper Rush, Davis Mills, and Taylor Henke.
Okay, that impressed me. He had that written down. That impressed me.
Yeah.
Well
Except
done.
for he didn't know how to pronounce Heineke.
Whatever his name is.
He's been playing all year long.
Baby steps.
Well, I guess, what's his name? Fitzpatrick started and got hurt. But he's been playing for at least 4 or 5 months now. But I'm more impressed by this White kid. I call him a kid. He's in his 30s. But
Mike White,
he came off the practice squad. He came in on the and then won. Cooper Rush from Dallas came in and won. You know what I'm saying? And then Trevor Siemian came in at a 7-7 score and beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Their defense really saved that game, though. That's the reason why Tampa Bay lost that game.
He still won.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he had to
a lot
put together a
if you look at the
competent
winners, the 4 backups that won, their defenses played lights out.
And then you see guys like Mills from Houston, who looks like he shouldn't even be in the NFL. And then you're like, well, what is it? And then I'm like, this has got to be.
Those are my favorite players, though, are the ones that don't look like they belong, but then they actually end up doing something good. It was fun. The biggest like layman or just average football watching thing that I enjoyed over the weekend with all these different quarterbacks, these second string, third string quarterbacks coming in, is that they look different. They don't fit the body style even. Like you look at them and you're like, oh yeah, somebody used the cheat code to make their player tiny. Yeah, like it looks different.
A lot of like the starters are based on their genetics, their height, their release time, like stuff that we don't even understand because and that's what it comes down to me. I'm like, this game is so complicated that I don't even begin to understand like all the minute details of it. Like, so I'm like, why is this quarterback starting and winning a game if he's coming off the practice squad when we're told like how important quarterbacks are? And then it has a lot more to do with the system, the game plan.
Simplify the offense, and then it makes it easy for him to pick and game plan.
The fact that defenses don't have tape on this person,
like helps,
like after it seems like after a while, the defenses figure out these players and then exploit. What they can't do and then stop what they can do. And like all that complicated stuff we don't understand as regular football fans. And so we just see the result and we're like, this is confusing to me.
You don't see this behind the scenes
stuff. I am just now learning how to
to
line up my defense against different offenses. I'm just now starting to get that barely.
How to pass off like a pick play.
Or change it in the middle when they got me my number. When they're like, oh, they saw what I had. They changed theirs, so now I got to change my. It's too hard.
And then there's things that suspiciously look like, all right, this team is. This is a throwaway year. Like the
Broncos trading Von Miller this week, yesterday. Yeah,
did you put that on your list?
I have that on my list. I also have AP getting signed by the Titans because of Derrick Henry being out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, so that's I didn't see.
Yeah, he's getting surgery on his foot. Yeah, he's done.
And that shows me.
I love his big, long mega dread.
Just the one.
The one mega.
It's so thick.
It's like a damn brute.
So there's a business in if you are a player that has accomplished a lot and is still in good shape. You could basically just stay in good shape and wait until injury happens and a player needs, like a team needs to sign you. So that's a business plan for a lot of people. Like,
well, that's what Cam Newton's doing.
Cam Newton is just staying in shape.
The Saints were looking at him, but they're like, nah, we'll stick with.
And a lot
Taysom
of players
Hill and
live in the league like that way, like Mike Davis from the Falcons. Like that guy, if you look at his numbers, it's extremely average, but extremely consistent. Like it's very much, and he's just like, I go wherever you need me.
You're a journeyman,
take me.
So let's talk about that with Adrian Peterson, because obviously
I saw that too.
Everybody jumps on to sign him. I'd rather take the other McNichols, the backup for Henry that's been playing on the team. In fact, I did take him. I also put
What's
a bit
the age difference there too, right?
Well,
I know it doesn't matter as much for backs, but still.
It seems like for running backs, it's the system, the offensive line, and the difference in quality. Now, Derrick Henry is in a different league.
He's a magical person.
In size and ability and stuff, so I doubt you're going to be able to have the same results.
The first guy doesn't bring him down, usually is the case.
But
that's what helps.
We've seen it year after year where they'll just cycle in another quarterback or another running back and they'll have the same success or equal success. Happened to Mike Davis. And
Connor
McCaffrey.
And years ago when they put Connor in for Pittsburgh, remember when they lost you know what I'm talking about? Like everybody was like, this is it. This is done. We're done. And then they put him in and he was great. He was destroying. And everybody's like, well, he's the new dude. He's the new guy.
And then their offensive line got a little worse, and then they have nobody. And then Connor goes to Arizona. He's done great. Like, half him on my fantasy. He's scoring touchdowns crazy.
He's better than Najee Harris.
And anyway, a lot of this stuff is way more complicated than we can even understand. But it does suck when superstars like Derrick Henry are out of the league, and then you're like, all right. And the Tennessee Titans did way better than most people expected to do, number one in their division, and he could be back by playoffs.
Possibly.
I think that's what they're hoping
for. I think if they can go like 500 for the rest of the year,
I think they could.
They were pretty good.
I definitely think they could.
They also got a good conference to be in because they're playing Houston and Jacksonville every 2 games.
Yeah.
You probably could be AFC South.
Playing Jacksonville is like a gift. Even in video games, it's like, when I get Jacksonville as a team I'm playing, I'm so happy and I'm sack crazemo.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence has no line to protect him.
I just smash him.
Real quick, so Dolphins are playing Houston this week. Dolphins are favored by 7 points, right?
Well, let's see what the trade deadline's tonight. So it's at midnight tonight is the deadline.
Who's getting massage boy?
Is the Dolphins going to go for him? Because the Carolina Panthers were trying also, but
I don't think the Dolphins.
I don't think anyone's going to pull the trigger on him.
No, I don't think. I think he's going to sit. That's my guess.
Well, whoever gets him, I don't think he's playing this year.
No,
until they figure out all
the allegations are all
sorted out. Enough time. Yeah. Really, the NFL and everybody's like, give it time. Like it'll blow away. And seriously, that's what they do. They just give it time, and they're like, let's let it go. If
fine.
Well, it's not like Robert Kraft who has lots of money. This is
Deshaun Watson has lots of money, and then I'm sure his lawyers are feverishly paying off as many people as they can to go away, right?
Where are we at on that?
I mean, there's so many allegations, so many different things.
How many are we up to now?
I thought it was like 27.
Yeah,
it's 22 or 27, somewhere in the 20s. Yeah,
right?
But
it's bad. Yeah,
listen, I mean,
it's horrible.
A lot of people have played in the NFL, have done worse things. So
doesn't make it okay. Though.
NFL. No. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying what the history tells me is he'll be back playing unless something other we hear any more information. But I'm saying just as it stands now, I feel like he could play next year and there'll be a slight uproar and then it'll just go away. That's my prediction.
Well, the last thing I got is we definitely got to talk about the World Series is happening tonight at 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
it's Game 6.
I've been watching it.
3-2 Braves.
Super fun to watch. I've really been enjoying it. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I wanted them to
watch a little bit after Halloween.
I did.
After trick or treating. We got home right as they hit the Grand Slam.
The Grand Slam was amazing.
I was like, how? There's no way Houston's going to pull this off, and they just played small ball and won, which was crazy.
Now this makes me a weird new odd baseball fan and not probably not a true fan, but I enjoyed the fact that they hit a grand slam and still lost because it makes the game crazier.
Yeah.
To me.
Houston didn't home run that game.
I want the Braves to win, but I like the idea of being able to just do base hits and manage it and run bases correctly and just manage your line.
Lead off double and move that guy to third base and sacrifice fly.
And that grand slam that he hit, I like the idea of it being a team sport, but I also like the idea of him having to sit there knowing that it's 2 outs, bases loaded, and your only path, your only way out of this is to hit a home run. That's it.
Wasn't it a full count too? It's usually.
Well, I guess he could have gotten a base hit, but I'm just saying he wanted it and he smashed it, and I've never seen.
He could have done like Houston did and had the bases loaded and just took all 4 pitches and walked in a run.
A lot of times, what'll happen is you get so into it that you'll just strike out because you so want to hit that home run.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Anyway, it is, though, less special to that guy that the fact that they lost.
You hit
the
a
game,
grand
right?
slam, and then you lose the game, which is horrible.
It would be like New England coming back against Atlanta in that Super Bowl, but losing in the last play. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
the comeback was still impressive.
For a touchdown that happened in college this weekend.
Like if you hit a grand slam and win a game in the World Series, that is something real special.
Well, if it's the last thing too, if you hit it and the fireworks go off and that's it, because they've done a couple of those. Before when they were getting into the World Series, that series they had with the Dodgers, there were a couple games where the last play decided it, and everyone's like, and then they
like a check swing or something like that.
It goes crazy. But all right, should we jump to nerd?
Yeah, definitely got nerd. Okay, were you guys big Ghostbusters fans as kids?
I was. I enjoyed Ghostbusters. I enjoyed Ghostbusters 2. I remember the song by Bobby Brown. I remember all the toys. I remember the real Ghostbusters cartoon. I remember all the toys that they had.
Yep.
I had the Ecto Cooler, the whole 9.
That's what I was bringing up.
I was all into. Oh, I hit it.
They're bringing back the Ecto Cooler, but only not to stores, but only to Ghostbusters events that they're screening the movie, and they're also giving away a popcorn it's an Ecto 1, and it's about, I want to say 20 inches, and you can put popcorn in it and the lights light up and everything.
That's cool.
It looks pretty cool. It's I don't know, it's $35, but you can only get it at AMC theaters.
Okay. This movie, I saw the trailer with Paul Rudd.
Yeah. They keep putting new ones out, yeah.
I saw the one where he's being chased by the monster, the Hellhound or whatever it is.
I'm not going to get it wrong. I'm not going to say wrong things.
Yeah, I will. But they love me. And he's getting chased by it, right? And then it looks good. More Paul Rudd in the trailer sold it more for me than the kids.
Yeah. Well, in the trailer, they released that monster.
Yeah,
from the pack.
Yeah, I'm not at all into because is this the same movie with the Stranger Things kid?
Yeah, it's a Stranger Things kid with Paul Rudd. Yeah, they're all together, and it's Egon's granddaughter is the one that finds everything.
Yeah, I like the Paul Rudd aspect of it better than I do the Wolf.
He's like their science teacher,
the Wolfgram kid.
Yeah. Now I know they're not going to, but I want them to smoke because
God, goodness gracious!
Oh my goodness!
What have you been smoking?
Just weed.
Damn! Celsius! what am I supposed to drink? I think it was because I yelled.
Water or honey?
Something. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, honey will help you with your throat.
Me from...
I think you certainly need to just keep getting mad at it.
Yeah, keep screaming.
Not doing anything about it.
But I want them to smoke because that's what I remember most about all the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, they're smoking in the library and everything.
Yeah. And I mean, even when Travis dressed up as a Ghostbuster...
He had the cigarette.
That's what everybody does. But they're not going to do that right now.
Well, because these are going to be I guess they could. It would be cool if they did that, though, because aren't these guys supposed to be a little rough around the edges? These are not savory cats. These are rough around the edges scientists, right?
Yeah.
So these kids should be a little rough around the edges, too, because their dad would have been a smoking rough around the edges scientist man.
But they're a generation removed. So it's Egon's grandchild. It's not his child. His daughter is the one that raised this kid. So
is she going to be like, he used to smoke, canceling now. Yeah. Canceling my grandfather.
That's probably what killed him, yeah. So, okay, the next story. Okay, Chris Pratt got cast as another thing.
Chris Pratt, he got
Remember how everyone had uproar about him becoming Mario? We just got cast as Garfield the cat also. And they're doing a remake of Garfield.
There's only one Garfield.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
Yep.
Dude, who wants another Garfield?
Nobody. They're just. I think they're making it to keep the rights.
Kids, right? I don't know. Do kids even know what?
No one likes Garfield.
What happened with the Clifford movie? Did that do well?
No.
I don't even think it came out. Did it?
Yeah,
I saw an ad
I think
for
it
it.
went to houses. I think maybe. I don't know. Or they pushed it back. Maybe they pushed it back.
I thought they pushed it back.
Garfield or Heathcliff?
Well, in Heathcliff, in my generation, was cooler than Garfield. Garfield was the nerdy Heathcliff. Heathcliff was the junkyard.
I'm gonna
cat.
Didn't Heathcliff have the one girl cat with the leg warmers?
We talked about that with Seth.
And that's what you're
He's
talking
a
about.
horny junkyard cat.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't horny.
I knew I heard it
I think
somewhere.
he was
He
more.
was horny.
No, I think he just wanted to eat. He was more like a tubby cat that wanted fish all the time.
He wants fish.
No. That one. Okay. Fantastic. We're like an old dad vaudeville team now. God damn it. It's
Full
embarrassing.
circle.
Oh, God.
Well,
Did you hear about Heathcliff? He likes fish. He certainly does.
Oh, my God. Okay, let's move on from that one. Okay, the last two stories I have is the book of Boba Fett, the Disney Plus series. They just released the trailer, and I think Sam sent it to you.
All right.
I saw this on Monday Night Football. I got excited because my sons really like
The
Mandalorian.
My son dressed up as the Mandalorian for Halloween this year, and I'm kind of excited about this.
All right, here, I'm going to play a little bit of it. This is the Book of Boba Fett official trailer. You can watch this twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. We're live right now.
I am
Jabba's
not a
palace.
bounty hunter. I've heard otherwise.
Okay, now, did he have to lose weight? Because
I think he lost weight between the Mandalorian and this.
Okay,
he was a
because-
little bit heavier in the last season of Mandalorian.
and that was deliberate, right? They
I think
made
so,
him
yeah.
like Boba Fett in the Mandalorian because he's an older, out of shape Boba Fett, right?
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
In the timeline?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
his
yeah.
armor is tight
Yeah.
in the Mandalorian. So tight, in fact, that I was like, oh, they're doing that deliberately to show that he's an older bounty hunter, right?
Well, they can use a lot of...
Or is
because
that wrong? Or is that just something I'm
'cause
reading?
At the end of Return of the Jedi, he ended up in the Sarlacc pit. So somehow he got out of the Sarlacc pit, and I think that had to do some with it. Like maybe the steroids, when they put him in the bacta tanks, maybe caused him to get bigger, and this is him slimmed down after like the side effects of that wore off.
So every clone, right?
Okay.
Like, explain to me this.
So episode 2, you're talking about all the clones from the Clone Wars.
Yes, are
Yes.
all Boba Fett.
Or Jango Fett.
Jango.
Well,
Okay.
Jango Fett is his father.
his dad.
He is a unmodified clone. The other clones had to be grown with advanced growth hormones, so they grew to full height and weight and maturity faster because it would take you a lifetime to grow clones.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So his dad. So now, does that carry on? Like every stormtrooper still is all clones of his dad?
No.
Allow me to remind you to think before you speak. You are being judged,
Get all these
sir.
right. Yes, I
And
know.
This is gonna get. This is gonna.
I'm actually pretty good with Star Wars.
Okay, it's like
yeah.
jumping through a minefield. Though.
Yeah, I know. It is like
all right.
some stormtroopers were clones at the beginning of the Empire, but then they slowly phased them out and became more like conscripts, and that's what the whole second sequel trilogy was about. That they were just stealing children and making them stormtroopers.
Okay.
That's
So-
terrifying,
Right?
but way
Yeah.
scarier than the.
That's
clone
what Finn
stuff.
was. Yeah, he was a stolen child.
Oh, that's terrible.
So the
Yeah.
book of Boba Fett,
but also
is,
cool. If I am a stolen child, I want to be a stormtrooper, not just some kid shoved in a closet.
Well, it explains a little bit more why they missed their shots too. Because think about it: are you going to kill someone for someone who stole you?
How many episodes
Yes.
is this? Like
How many episodes? I'm not totally sure, but I think Mandalorian last one was 8 or 10, somewhere in that range.
It's usually between 8 and 10.
Yeah. So I would say they're probably going to do the same with this.
Does Disney Plus release them all at once, or did they?
No, they do weekly.
Week by week?
No, because like
Okay.
Hawkeye's coming out at the end of this month, November 24th, and they're
That looks
releasing
good.
They're releasing the first 2 that weekend because it's Thanksgiving weekend. Perfect idea for 2 episodes. But
I
then it's
hate to say
weekly.
that Hawk, and I know that I give a lot of Marvel hate, but I think the Hawkeye Christmas thing looks solid.
Hawkeye's more grounded. That's why it's more believable.
It looks like a fun Marvel Die Hard. I can get involved in that.
Yeah, very because it's during Christmas.
Yeah, I can get involved in
it's
that.
in New York.
And I think Carlos, he's in that trailer.
Carlos
Hits
is in the
him-
trailer.
Hits him in
He's-
the balls with a bat. I mean, like, I can get him.
He's
Hawkeye looks
probably
okay.
the tracksuit vampires or Draculas.
But
that is one of the characters. yeah.
Hawkeye, I give the nod to. That looks pretty good. That looks
Looks
good.
like it's 8 episodes, Tom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited about this because my sons will like it. It's the perfect amount of violence for them to like. It's not, it's good.
It's so well done,
and it's him taking over for Jabba because Jabba's dead, and he's basically stealing his criminal empire. Is basically what Boba Fett's doing.
I might even like this as much or more than Mandalorian.
It's kind of very Breaking Bad, Sopranos kind of esque. But in the Star Wars universe.
I like that it's kind of the anti-hero.
Yeah, he's not a good guy. Yeah.
Is Mandalorian going to be in this?
I wouldn't imagine so.
Possibly, because they're connected. Because the chick that played Mulan, I can't remember her name as a character, but she's his right-hand man that was in The Mandalorian as well. And she was also attached to that. Because remember, she was one of the bounties that they were going for on Tatooine.
Oh, yeah.
And that he saved, Boba Fett saved her after that one guy shot her.
Well, this looks pretty good. All right.
Yeah, it's exciting.
We don't have to play the rest.
You don't have to play the rest of it. You can watch it online. It just came out this week, and the last one I have is Morbius. They released the trailer this morning, and this is one of my favorite characters from back in the day. In the 1990s, this guy was huge. He was part of the Legion of Monsters. He was part of the Midnight Suns with like Ghost Rider, Blade, the Night Stalkers, Darkhold Redeemers. This is one of my favorite anti-heroes. He's a living vampire, and he has remorse when he has to kill. And Jared Leto's playing. It looks great. Like, the trailer's amazing.
You want me to give you a little bit of this?
All right.
Here's a little.
This comes out in January.
You need a doctor?
I am a doctor.
I should have died years ago.
People all over the world have my disease.
I'm here
To find a cure, we have to push the boundaries, take the risks. If you're gonna run, do it now.
So
this is good.
It's interesting about vampires because in tons of movies they've tried to get around the vampires that don't want to kill. Like, they've explained, like, oh, they'll drink cow's blood, or they'll get
eat rats or something like that.
Or they eat like animals, or steal like blood from blood donation places and just get like human blood that way.
Yep, that's in the trailer.
And that's always been.
I think I would do that in the beginning, but I think I get tired of doing that.
That's kind of what he does. He ends
then
up
eventually I'd start killing people that I don't like just because it's easy.
That's what he basically
people,
does.
right?
That's what he does. He ends up going after bad people.
Yeah,
he
but
finds
occasionally I just get an average person. You know what I mean? Like a UPS guy.
Be hungry.
You're blocking traffic. I'm going to kill you.
Well, no, UPS guy's out there. He puts down my Apple Watch or whatever. I'm starved.
You would eat the guy that blows the leaf blower out here.
My wife.
Everybody's done something bad. You're like, you slapped your wife at a Super Bowl one time. I'll eat you.
Yeah, exactly. You couldn't make it to the bathroom, and you pooped on your kitchen floor one time.
Like, I feel like you could eat almost anyone and justify it in some instance, or like, this person did this, and then people will be like, all right.
And then at the end of the day, people will be like, I can't believe he did. I'll be like, I'm a vampire. You're next. If you just keep doing this up, you want to keep talking, I'm about to eat you.
Yeah. Like, you don't deserve to die for lying on your taxes for 10 years, but that's a one reason.
And then it started arguing this. Then the family, they're like, you killed our dad. He was a UPS driver. I'd be like, look, this is my reality. I'm a vampire. What do you want me to do?
Or you get people that are like terminally ill. You know,
I don't want to
get the old. You taste like
AIDS.
Because vampires get AIDS?
That's a great question.
Can they?
Yes, of course they could get AIDS. You guys are idiots. It's blood. It's a blood disease, right? It's in the blood.
They're immortal.
Yeah, but can't they heal?
No, they just keep it. They'll live forever with AIDS.
Oh, they
terrifying.
AIDS.
It's horrible.
Or they bite someone. They're like, I'm sorry, I gave AIDS.
Like, what happened? I'm a vampire.
If you live through this. Well, but then
if you're really
if you live through, you turn into a vampire.
Yeah, but that's the other thing.
No,
he
you
ends
have
up
to give them
making
the
vampires
blood.
too.
You have to give them the blood, your own blood. You're like, here, take this AIDS blood. You'll live forever with AIDS. You have to do that because you'll have every disease, right? As a vampire, you don't just get AIDS. Like by the time I'll be 300
Herpes,
years old, and
for
people are
sure.
like, "What you got?" I'm like, "I got what don't
don't
I
I-
have?
yeah.
I got it all."
Legionnaire's disease.
Well, all the ones that stick with you, which is only AIDS and herpes that I know of, like, right? Like
HPV.
Yeah.
Oh, HPV.
Yeah, but vampires.
But
don't
if you're a
get that.
guy vampire, you don't.
You're
not
girl
gonna get cervical cancer.
vampire.
Yeah.
She's like, what would she die of? Oh my God, straight through the heart. I was like, no, cervical cancer. You'd never think of
HPV.
it. Yeah,
Got it from
she
the.
got her bad.
Yeah.
She had a cone biopsy and everything. It's bad.
She bit this frat boy. Had it.
She couldn't help herself.
Most frat boys
I
have it.
told her unprotected bat sex.
All right, EJ. You know, I don't know
your
what you
score
got
for
wrong.
today?
Yeah, well, hey,
I mean, a bunch of
was a
stuff,
9 out of
but
10.
I think we're
Again,
just,
stumble at the
I think we're
beginning.
just gonna do like kid grades. I think you got a satisfactory today.
Okay.
Okay.
But next week has got to be all or nothing, or
All or
a
nothing?
week suspension.
Oh, so basically, I'm really basic.
Now, just we'll try to stick up to like 20 minutes. So let's do. What do you think? 3 nerd stories, 3 sports stories, or 2?
If you're doing just 20 minutes,
Yeah,
then
20 minutes,
2.
probably 2 each.
2
yeah.
and 2. Yeah, just pick the most popular ones of
2
that
and 2,
week.
we can't say that.
Yeah, that's
Copyrighted
We can say
by
it.
Love Connection. You remember that? Chuck
Yeah.
Woolery. He'd
Chuck
be like, we'll be
Woolery,
back in 2 and 2.
What was he talking about?
2 minutes.
Back
and
in 2 minutes and 2 seconds, yeah.
Oh, it's 2 minutes
It's
and 2 seconds.
A break, yeah.
I feel like you just said 2.
Well, that's why you don't have to go. Yeah.
We'll be back in 2.
Do you know how good this podcast would be if Chuck Woolery were my co-host?
Well, we can see 2 and 2
old
is
is he
confusing.
now?
I'm like,
Is he
what's
alive?
the other 2? Anyway.
I think he's alive, and he is crazy.
Is he a crotchety old man?
Yeah,
Is he
yeah. But a lot of people agree
Is
with
he
him.
very like Gallagher, really mad?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like that.
How are you not like that now?
I'm like, I want to be mad. I feel like this.
I'm too
my
happy.
natural state.
I'm too happy right now. I gotta mad myself up.
I would be
Yeah,
mad at everything.
I've had a good couple weeks, man.
I'm like, look how lazy everybody is.
You spit on the camera.
I get mad at that.
Hey, that happened at dinner the other night with my in-laws. We were sitting there, and they're like,
But I'm lazy, so
nobody
it's
wants
weird.
to work. They're like,
I don't want to work.
No, but they
I'm lazy and I don't want to work and I'm mad at
No,
it.
we were sitting there eating, and they're like, nobody wants to work. And I said, I have to go to the bathroom. And I got up and I went to the
Peace out.
bathroom for a long time.
But somehow I don't want to work and I'm mad about wanting to work. I don't know. All right.
Bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
So a BDM had a story that he put up on the BDM page, and lots of different reactions.
Yeah,
and
it went in a way that I didn't see it going. And I think, okay, I'll give you the story. So short of the long, imagine that you have a brand new pair of AirPod Pros, the Apple product.
what does that retail for?
$250.
$250. Okay.
About 250. Let's just go 250 because it's a good number. Also look at it like, to me, I don't know about you, but I know this is different for everybody. For me, 250 is not just 250. It's half of 500.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
A lot of money.
Yeah,
to me.
250 is a lot. 250 is
Yeah.
one of the first numbers in my brain that when somebody throws around, I'm like, whoa, like a hundo. There's a teeter point there. That's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. $100 is a ton of money, but
Cut your losses
for some
100.
reason, 250 just sounds like, ugh, it's just like, ugh, it's getting real, right? So he had a brand new pair of AirPod Pros. Apparently they fall out of his pocket, I'm guessing. I may be getting a little bit of this wrong, but it's still going to work. AirPod Pros fall out of his pocket. He orders some Uber Eats. Uber Eats comes, delivers, let's say, his burritos from Gringos Locos. He gets his delicious treats from Uber Eats, and it may not be Uber Eats. It could be Grubhub. It could be anything.
Sure.
But Uber Eats guy finds his AirPod Pros apparently outside. How does he know this particular BDM? Well, he used the feature that Apple provides you where you can trace and find your iPod, you can find your iPad, you can find your headphones.
Find my device kind of thing.
Yeah, they have this nice Find My Device deal that you can use. I've used it before in my own home. It works pretty darn good, right? So he uses that, and he realizes that this Uber Eats food delivery guy has his AirPod Pros. So
does he realize it because he tracked it back to the restaurant?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Correct.
So it has to be the guy.
So it has to be the guy. He knows, proof positive, that it's there. So now, this brings you to the Tom and Dan quintessential, the 180, Tom versus Dan, why we're different crossroads, right? I believe in this type of scenario, I am hardwired to go all in. I have to get those AirPods at any cost, even my own life. And Tom has to go, there is nothing I can do about this. I will not even ever go to that restaurant ever again in my life. I have to write them off like it never happened, and I will buy a new pair, no big deal.
Now, does he actually work at the restaurant, or does he work for Uber Eats?
Uber Eats. Not for the restaurant. So take the restaurant out of play. Gotcha. That's why I said Gringos. We love Gringos Locos. Great, food, whatever. But let's just take them out of play. Let's just say that this has to do with food delivery company. It could be one of any, Grubhub, Uber Eats. Could be independent. I don't know.
Well, he may have worked for the restaurant because there would be no reason to go back to that same restaurant that he ordered from unless he got multiple orders.
No. He tracked it back to the delivery site. Just go with what I'm telling you. I don't want to incriminate any restaurant. Just say it's the delivery site. Mm-hmm. It's the company. It's the third-party food delivery company. That's who this guy works for, not for a food company. So now he knows that Guy has his headphones. He tracked him there. But what do? What's the next play? How do you handle this?
Contact Uber Eats.
Or whomever.
Right, or whatever delivery service they work for, yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you exactly what to do. I'll spend 15 minutes figuring out whether it's worth me trying to get a hold of the person. I would at least attempt to
see, it's already worth it in my mind, though, because these are my headphones that I use a lot. You see what I'm saying? Like, this isn't just a tool that I didn't just, willy-nilly lose something I never used.
But you said he did contact the person, and the person told him to F off.
Well, basically ghosted him. Like, he gave him the stop cooperating, let's say.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to paint this as overly negative because I'm just getting, little bits and pieces of the story.
So here's how I would start trying to figure out what would happen, and I would be like, well, okay, I could email customer service for Uber Eats, which I would assume is some sort of a place in India, some call center or whatever it is, and it would be nearly impossible for me. Now I could make a complaint about that driver or whatever, which they'd probably have to verify.
Doesn't that guy have a manager here in town?
Right.
That's where you go
for Uber Eats.
Yeah.
There's no manager. I mean,
yes,
there is.
Of course there is. You think that there's just a computer somewhere in North America that runs and the delivery drivers are just willy-nilly just going wherever and there's nobody in charge?
I thought you signed up on the app just like Uber.
But there's got to be a guy in this area that they're so big now. They got guys around here.
I didn't know that.
I gotta have a guy.
I thought when you worked for Uber or any of these delivery services like Uber or Lyft or whatever the hell, and you were just a contract driver, you sign up online and then basically you're beholden to the company, or at least their standards, practices, policies, or whatever. And then there's no local person that's in charge of I assume it's just the corporate headquarters.
Well, there's got to be recourse, or why even have a company at that point? Then it's just the Wild West. You just have delivery drivers just doing whatever, and there's no way to get your money back. There's no way to do anything.
Well, there is recourse in the fact that if the driver doesn't show up, you could write a complaint or request your money back.
Or if the driver takes a poo in your quesadilla.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people to contact is my point.
Yeah, but not like a local manager. It would just be an email to the corporate office, which I assumed it would take a long time to get to this guy. And if you got to the guy, he would say, I didn't take the AirPods.
Right.
And then they'd go back to you.
Well, you're looking at your phone, and I look at my phone, and it has a map, and it's pinging you right now. They're in your pocket. I can see it right here from this phone.
Well, then I'm imagining a corporate office scenario where it's like a he said, she said, and then the corporate office is like, well, sir.
At the very least, I'm getting this person fired if I'm not getting my headphones back. There must be blood. It's blood for blood. Well, it has to be.
What I'm saying is you'd have to then file some sort of complaint, and then it would go through the system. Sure. You would probably don't. I'm thinking
I'd take off my job to handle this. I would take off days to handle this.
But that seems to me there it's like you're just in it for the emotional outcome of getting revenge.
Well, I could
and to me, I'm like, there's no value in emotional revenge to me.
Is there any security feature where you can lock down the AirPods so they don't work?
Shut them down?
You know what I mean? I don't have any kind of AirPod technology, so I'm not sure.
I've never been good, and I don't see that as logic, because at some point...
Because at least at that point, I'd be like, well, you can't resell them or reuse it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure you can hack them, though.
I mean, at some point, you've had enough of these type of things happen to you where you're like, well, I have to get one of these back. I have to get my AirPods back. Everything else is fine, but I'm doing one. I'm getting one back. I'm not going to let the bad person win in this particular scenario. There will be a level of retribution here. Like, you don't get to deliver my burrito and steal my iPods. You now are out of your job. I will follow this through to the point where you get fired. And then I will, even if I don't get my AirPods back, at least I will know that in some way the world isn't too screwed up to the fact that we live in a society now where it's just, it's just going to be too much work for you to fight for what you believe in and keep the things that you actually earned. No, that's not worth your time. Let him have it. That's fine. And you just sit back because it's too much work. It's too much work to go and do that. No, buy another one. You got extra money. You're made of money.
Well, I would do the math and say I probably aren't getting the AirPods back because now it's a he said, she said, even though I have some loose evidence.
Loose evidence. He's got the AirPods and
GPS.
I have a GPS of my device pinging. That's not loose evidence.
What if I told you this may have happened to old Grifton Jess with her son's teenage phone?
Yeah, this happens with phones all the time.
She tracked it down.
Yeah.
Showed up to the place, and it happened to be like at they live in Titusville, so they were like, it was like a whole family having like a goddamn party at the beach, and the kid threw the cell phone into the ocean.
The kid that stole it?
Yeah, and said, I don't have your phone.
Oh, yeah.
And cops can't do anything.
I've heard of it where someone's lost their phone, then tracked it to someone's house, and then called the cops. And then, but someone told us the story one time.
There's been different scenarios. I've had one where the cop knocked and they got the phone, and I've had one where the cop said there's nothing we can do.
Right. They don't have a warrant.
We're not going to get a warrant to go in.
It's like a civil matter.
Yeah. Then it's just like, and I would expect them to do that.
You could get a be cool bro cop that will do it anyway, that will knock anyway.
He'll knock, but if no one answers, he's like, well, I'm going to do nothing.
Right.
It's like there's nothing they could do at a certain point, even though it's like he stole my property. But then it's hard to prove that he stole it, and the person could just be like, I found it. And there's nothing,
that's fine. You can say that. Yes, you did find it. And it just so happens that it belongs to me. So thank you for finding it. Those are mine. It doesn't just, like, the thing that bothers me the most about this story and what got me hot even reading it on the BDM page is that there were people that were okay with, if it was just on the side of the road and you found it, it's okay to take that. No, it's not. Just because something falls out of my pocket doesn't necessarily mean that it's yours.
I told you guys in the office today, I lost all of my stuff this past weekend at a concert, and somebody was nice enough to actually turn all my stuff back in to someone that worked at the venue. My wallet, my keys, everything came out of my purse.
You realize I don't believe
that
you,
never
right?
happens. Dude, I thought 100% it's done. Like, this weekend's ruined.
That's amazing.
Went over, I said, hey, I know it's a long shot, and the guy held up my wallet, and I'm like, holy crap. And then he's like, oh yeah, are these your keys? And I'm like, okay, well, there are still good people in this world.
Well, shout out to our buddy Casey from the band Virginity who blew out his leg. Get well soon, dude.
Yeah.
But he was kind of saying that on Peter's podcast about how, like, punk rock guys, there's a lot of good cats in the punk rock world, so that doesn't surprise me. Good job.
Majority of people, I believe, are good and will return people's stuff. I remember, like, Adam Carolla did some bit on the Man Show or some radio bit where they put a wallet on the street and then had cash in it, but it had returned, and every single person that found it returned it. Some people took the cash or whatever, said they didn't have, there was no cash in it, they didn't have it on video camera or whatever, but everybody returned the wallet.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think think about it, like everybody I know as of now, like friends, family, I can only think of a couple people that, like, most people that found someone's wallet and keys or whatever and then had their name, like, they would take it to Lost and Found or try to track down the owner. Like looking on Facebook.
If I found someone's AirPods, I'm not tracking them down. But if they contact me, 100%.
Oh yeah, but how would you supposed to?
Exactly,
but if they had their name, if they had their card, like these are this person's AirPods, like return them. Like everybody that I know would.
Desk of where you find, or if, like, for God's sake, if you found them in the yard of the place you just delivered the burrito to, you're going to assume, because you're not an idiot, that the guy was out there cutting his bushes and they fell out of his pocket. That's the part that makes me mad. Is it's like people don't want to use common sense of even, like, I've done that before. I've knocked on my neighbor's door and said, hey, your garage is up. I'm not saying that I'm the best at being a human, but Christ.
I guess the real question is, to what extent are you willing to go to for the principle of it? And
too far.
Daniel will go too far.
Too far.
I'll go exactly the length that it's worth my time and effort to go to, right? So,
I don't know. I've seen you go too far at times.
What do you mean?
I think you're almost to a fault where you, like, if the guy that has your headphones was like, hey, I'm using these and I love them. You got a cord? You'd be like, oh, here's a charging cord. You can have yeah, there's a point where
that's exaggerated. Well, if someone stole my property, I would try to get it back, but to what extent? Like, once the person says, like, I'm not giving it back, and then I'll do the math and I'll say, like, well, I can't really prove the cops aren't going to do anything. I'll try to make a complaint.
First. You'd have to call them first to fully know. See what I'm saying? Like, you're already doing the math. That's the problem. You'd have to do.
Well, I know cops, and most of them. Listen, I've called the cops before for robbing my house in Colton Drive, and they were like, "Hey, we'll dust for prints."
Again, that's making my point. You're assuming that all cops wouldn't go out there. There might be a cop that would be willing to do it for you. You just have to do that.
But again, for what? I mean, if it's for $250, I'm starting to like. Am I going to spend how much time? Like. Half my day isn't worth $250.
I think I'd spend a day on it. Yeah,
a day.
I think I'd spend
a day of my time. A day of my time is not worth $250. It's worth more than that.
I am not confident enough in what I do to say that my time is worth more than $250 a day. I'm just.
Well, you can calculate it. I know how much we both get paid, and it's not $250 a day.
But it's also.
I wish it was.
It's also not the same amount of money every single day. And just by saying that, the whole entire thing is flawed. Well, some days are going to be making less money than
now. Right? But there's also an aspect of gambling here, which I love gambling. So it's not even if it was a guarantee that I would get the AirPods back if I spent a day trying to, then I may do it because there's a guarantee. If there is a 50-50 that I'll spend the whole day and then 50% chance I'll even get them back, then you know what I'm saying? Like, there's always an equation of like time versus risk versus reward. Like, what am I doing this for?
I feel
if it's for just the principle, what I'm saying is that I'm not going to do it for the principle to make things right in the world. I don't care about that.
What if it was something that was super sentimental and important to one of your sons?
Yeah, but I'll try to get it back, but to what? Like, I won't go to the you know what I'm saying? Like, how much?
Knock on the guy's door?
Yeah. Like, okay. I'm
just trying to see where your line is.
Well, what's weird to me is that we say, like, we're going to do the math. I don't think anybody in this studio, apologies if this is offensive, is good at math. You see what I'm saying? It's like you would need to be. It's like I'm not going to trust.
I'd waste my time trying to do the math.
Right? You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a gambler because I'm not good at math.
Yeah.
So of course I'm not going to run my life by numbers. I'm not good at it.
Yeah. No, I'm not very good at math either, but I am good at understanding what type of risk am I taking, or what am I wasting my time on to what extent. You know what I'm saying? Like, how much effort am I going to do to get my AirPods back? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always, like, if a delivery driver takes them and I'm like, oh, he definitely took them, and then he says, screw you, I would look at it like, well, Uber, I can file a complaint and do all that, but they're not going to, there's no one's going to go to this guy's house from Uber and then track my stuff down.
For stealing from customers.
Yeah, so that's why I would do it.
But not without proof, and then and then your proof would have to be just submitted like
screenshots of
right,
but
that's not proof to let someone go.
But we don't know that. See, that's what I hate. We're answering the question for Uber. We're not Uber. We don't know if we gave them the proof. We are very good on this show of saying, well, no, of course they're not going to do that. That's the dumbest thing you can say. That is an assumption.
I would bet.
No.
Okay. Well, then what are you?
No,
you're saying go and do whatever it takes for your entire life.
Well, to what end? I'm just saying you can't.
This is crazy. You're talking like a crazy person.
But you're saying it's not even worth firing off an email to them to see what they actually do. You're saying that you already know they're not going to do anything, so don't do it.
It's worth the email.
Okay. Well, I misunderstood.
But all I'm saying is, most likely, what are they going to do? Because it's your word against theirs.
When we email them.
Yeah.
And we'll see what they have to say, rather than trying to predict what they're going to do, which is what we always do, which is normally 50% wrong.
What could they do?
I don't know. They could fire the guy, like Sam said, which would be
okay. They're going to fire him over just a customer email? Well, and that's it over one customer saying something. What if then you could say something bad about anybody and get them fired without it?
I would imagine if I gave them the proof of the map that is from Apple that I screenshot. Or you can
do like everybody does now and blow them up on social media.
Yeah, to the point where they'll just...
And then start tagging Uber Eats and be like, these are the type of employees they have, you know. And then a lot of times that will get people fired. Like, you see all the videos on TikTok where some person's going ham in a store and then they tag their employer and they get fired.
Yeah. Although then you got to look at it like that too, because there is a certain like thing where you look like the crazy person when you're going crazy on social media, and it's kind of below you to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you were on social media going crazy about like this person stole my AirPods, and then I get him fired. Like I would look at you and be like, this guy's crazy. Just buy a new pair of AirPods. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? You start looking, and then you're damaging your own reputation, and that's value.
Just don't act crazy. Yeah, but be like, hey, I tried contacting Uber Eats about this employee.
You'd have to keep it cool.
Yeah.
Whatever you do.
But cool people don't get them to respond. If you start going crazy and then they'll respond, and you have to do that. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, when they stole my wife's ring, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to bring this one up because this one, when obviously there's nothing you can do. It's not like you can use Track My Ring, but I'm sure we're getting there, right?
But they stole, and it was like super expensive. I mean, it was probably, you know, a $10,000 plus ring that my dad gave my mom.
Oh, God.
And it was like, it had some sentimental, my mom gave to me. And then I gave it to my wife, right? Our house got broken into by a bunch of, like, I'm sure just punk teens in the neighborhood because I lived in a heroin alley, and they stole all our jewelry, including that ring, right? Ugh. My wife went, like, she was going to a different pawn shop every week for a good 2 months and like posting stuff on social media and whatever, and you know, that was the amount, and then she gave up, you know, and she still thinks about it, still mad that it got stolen or whatever. I never did anything to even attempt to look for it, right? Because and now that could be wrong.
Even though it meant something to her.
Yeah, yes, because I looked at it like, what are the chances that first it's even? I'm guessing that
I'm telling you, man, but you know, to argue Dan's point here, I thought in my head this weekend, what are the chances that someone's actually going to turn in and find all of my stuff? Like everything I lost, I got back.
The chances are higher there than the person stealing the ring. Because the person stealing the ring is out for nefarious.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
They broke into a house and stole the ring. Like finding stuff on the floor, I put the chances high that it's going to be in lost and found. Like if I lose something, I'm going straight to lost and found because I think the majority of humans that find something like that
would turn it in.
The majority of people that break into houses and steal stuff, yes,
their intention was to be a criminal.
Yeah, and a lot of them will go to pawn shops. So that my wife was right, but the problem is most pawn shops now they are hesitant with taking stolen material, and they make you leave your
different world now.
Social security number and address.
They tie you to it now.
Yeah, so that if it is stolen, they could track you. They'll take your picture. So most criminals don't even do that. I'm guessing this teen gave it to his girlfriend or some crap. You know what I'm saying? Sold it to his drug dealer. Who knows?
If he had a buddy who was cash for gold, melted down.
Yeah. So at that point, I'm like, I'm not going around. Now I could be, to this day, going to each pawn shop looking for the damn ring. Who's got time for that? It's a waste of my time, and move on.
I think the thing that makes this one a little bit different in my mind, because I'm sitting here trying to, because most of everything you're saying, normally, I'm on board. I agree with 100%. Why would I even bother with that? The thing that's bothering me here is that I have the proof. That's what's bothering me. It sounds an awful lot like years ago, remember? I had some proof. Nobody cared. You know what I mean? Like, it's tough for me. Like, one of my flaws is it would be very tough to, one of my major flaws is it's extremely hard for me, even though I know I'm on the right side of something. This is why I would be a horrible gambler, because if I'm even on the right side of the bet, I wouldn't even enjoy that. It would have to come through.
That's called the Dolphins plus 14.
Yes. We can talk about that.
And lose by 15.
That would drive me insane.
No, see, I am like...
You still like that. You're like, well, I did all that I could.
No, I was like, still don't... Even if I lost, good bet.
Because you're on the rise. You did everything that you could have in that scenario, minus luck, correct?
If you were on the Bills minus 14 the whole game, you would have been like, oh, this is a for sure loss. Luck have it, like you won or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so... I guess it's just how far you're willing to go for, the right or wrong of it. You know, it's kind of like.
Is there a price point that you would go?
Oh, he always has his price points dialed in.
Is
you know
there
that.
a number where something was
guaranteed he has
retrieved from someone else? They told you F you, they're not giving it back.
Yeah, this is his wheelhouse. You're in his wheelhouse of the stuff he likes.
I will tell you a story that this happened twice.
New story?
With dirt bikes. A buddy of mine, he got a dirt bike stolen from his garage a while back, and then he just started looking at Craigslist because he figured whoever stole it was going to resell it on Craigslist.
Kind of like what your wife is trying to do with the pawn shop.
And it was an expensive motocross bike, so and it was all custom basically. So he would be able to recognize it. And then sure enough, it popped up on Craigslist like a month later, right? So he called the guy.
I don't think I'd be able to contain myself if I saw that. Like, I'd freak out.
Yeah, you got to give it a beat before you post it. Because they know everyone's looking for it.
By the way, so I told the story before on the show, but it happened with a dirt bike I sold him later. Anyway, so he saw it on Craigslist and then called the cops first and it's like, hey, my dirt bike got stolen, whatever. The cops, I don't think they'd do anything, right? They were just like, you got to file a report or whatever. And he knew, he was like, I need to track this guy. So he called the guy. He's like, hey, I'm interested in buying your dirt bike. Meet me at the Chili's over here. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, the Chili's parking lot.
Yeah, exactly.
So
a setup.
He took his gun.
My God.
By the way, when I'm tucking a gun in my butt ass, that's too far for me. Because at that point, I'm like, what if I'm bringing a gun to a scenario where
things could pop off.
Yeah, and then once I'm pulling my gun out, my life is changed for the like. You know what I'm saying? Like, just by showing up with a gun in my butt ass, I'm telling myself I'm willing to use this gun, and then it's like step too far. I'm like,
you reminded me of a story that I forgot about.
Not worth his life, not worth my life.
I would have called like the non-emergency and been like, can I have a police escort to meet you here?
See, this is I forgot about this story, but Tom is right. That is too far. That is too far for iPod. Whatever.
Well, he pulled in.
Anything.
The guy was parked in the parking lot. He's like, hey, he pulled in behind him. So he couldn't leave, and then he just
trapped him.
And then he just called the cops, and then the cops came, and then he claimed that he had bought it from someone else, that he didn't steal it, or whatever.
Course.
Yeah. And then the cops just gave him my buddy the dirt bike back.
And then they both went to Chili's, which is weird.
So the guy that obviously stole it or whatever, he's got set free, but he got his dirt bike back.
Right.
Whatever happened again. Where I had this 2-stroke 250 dirt bike, same buddy, and he was redoing like the engine for me, right? And his garage got broken into, and they stole that.
Wait a minute, now this
it's an invisible garage. It has no walls.
He lives out
precision.
He lives out in the sticks, and apparently a lot of people are stealing dirt bikes out there.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
And they break into people's garages because it's a separate garage. It's one of those houses that
like
have
city folks have ice bucket challenge. Country folks, they steal each other's dirt bikes.
Dirt bike challenge.
And again, he kept his eye out on Craigslist until finally he saw some dirt bikes for sale, and then ended up getting it back again. Or
Chili's?
No.
Oh.
This was
Applebee's.
Like the cops ended up raiding the guys, the people that were stealing the dirt bikes, and then the cops. Anyway, the dirt bike got back to him. So it's semi worth it to at least go through the effort of looking on Craigslist or things like that. I guess that's just a search though. Mm-hmm. And so like it depends on how much effort you want to go through. If you're just sitting at a stoplight and you're searching Craigslist for your dirt bike or your stolen goods, it seems like very minimal effort. If you're not stopping and you're vowing to get revenge on this person for stealing your stuff, and then you show up at their house and then all this extra amount of effort, I'm saying what's the point of all? Is it principle? But I think for Daniel, it is principle. And then if principle is worth that much to you, then
not that far. No, not gun principle.
No.
That's no.
To what extent though do you go? I mean, writing an email, that's fine. I'll write an email. But then to like, are you going to start, getting the cops involved? And what if they don't want to get involved? I mean, a lot of times you could file a report. Yeah. And they say like, hey, you could file a report, and then where's that going to do?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like they're not going to send a detective to get your AirPods back.
Those people are fascinating to me. The take one of those with you, folks. The people that like are doing something terrible and then like just look you in the eyes when they're doing it, and then they're like, yeah, I don't care. Yeah. And you can do nothing to me, and You won't do anything to me, and I'm just going to enjoy these new AirPods that you bought for me, and that, like, to me, like, I have a huge problem with those type of people.
Oh, well, they're garbage. I mean, they're people that key people's cars. I mean, someone keyed ICP into Crystal's old truck for no reason at the mall one time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I always thought you guys did that because you like the band. I thought that was self-inflicted.
There's people that key cars. There's people that do horrible things, that steal people's stuff all the time.
Yeah.
You know, like break your window, steal all your stuff inside, and it's like, you know, I mean, they're just horrible garbage people.
Would you like to do some voicemails?
Yeah.
Because we got a bunch. We'll jump in here. And if you want to leave us a voicemail message, too, super easy to do. There's a couple ways. You can get our free app. Wherever you get your apps for your smart device, just search A Mediocre Time or Tom and Dan. Our app will pop up there. Everything's on there, including a click-through to Twitch. We're live on Twitch right now. You can watch us and our live video stream every Monday through Friday. And all of our shows are on there. BDM shows are on there. OG shows are on there. You can click through to the Facebook group. Really, really cool. Just search for the Mediocre app. Let's try... Yeah. Okay, now this guy's been calling in a lot, Tom. Hold on, I gotta fix this up. Remember the guy that you like to bet with? We have.
there's lots of people.
Yeah, we have his number. Do you have that guy's number in your
Yes.
email? Maybe we can call him. It's this guy. I think this is the same guy. I think this is your guy, Tom, if I remember correctly.
Hey guys, this is BDM Sean from Vegas. I just had a quick PSA for, I guess anybody who bets against Tom. Tom's been doing some research, and so he's starting to get his little gambling lines a little bit better. But one piece of advice I'd like to leave anyone is just be aware of anyone that suggests a bet, because they've probably thought it out. So when Tom suggests, hey, we should bet on this or that, it's not a 50-50. It's not I win or you lose. It's you have to start asking him for odds. You have to, when he starts taking the evens or the easy bet, you got to throw some odds on there. You got to say, hey, you got to pay me at least 2-1 or 3-1 or whatever. Because Tom's sneaky, and he's trying to get away with that stuff, and he's gambling with everybody, and nobody's gambling the right way. All right? So eat your butt, Tom.
There you go.
See, sir, even you telling people that isn't going to change me trying to get the advantage over someone.
That's the game.
Because most people live by emotion. And that's where I have the advantage. I have no emotion into anything. So I could look at something and just do 100% math, even though I don't know
you're
math.
bad at math.
I am bad at math, but I'm just saying it will be based on no emotional tie to anything. Like, I could bet against the Dolphins, do all the time. It makes no difference to me. Like, I'm not, like, some people can't or bet against their team. Like our buddy Cabin Boy Matt.
He'll never bet against the Steelers.
Never bet against the Steelers. That's illogical to me. Why not? Like, if you know that the line's wrong, you win money.
Well,
Money's more important.
Even I'll bet against the Falcons. I don't care.
For instance, I conned Freddie into taking
$50 Freddie.
Saints
$50
plus 6.
Freddie, yeah.
Now, it didn't matter. Saints won outright, so the line didn't even matter. Like, he wanted 4. I said 6. I was just trying to get an edge on him. And he took 6 at even money. That's a great bet. Even if I lost, I was like, I made a great bet. $50 even money, Saints plus 6. I couldn't get that anywhere. Like, I couldn't get that on Bovada or FanDuel or anything. No book would take that. Freddie will take it. And so most people will take bets. And this gentleman's 100% right. You should always bet with odds because nothing's even money, really, for the most part. Everything has a chance one way or the other. So people should take that into account. The problem is they don't know enough about gambling to even understand, like, minus 150. Like no one's going to do that. Everything's even money to people. Like, I'll bet you $50.
Yeah.
But it should always have odds attached to it. I mean, no way Vegas would. I mean, there's some even money bets for sure when they get that way, but for the most part, everything is odds attached.
Most people I see that are new at it don't even know what the odds mean. They're not.
Yeah, because they're not into it that much. But if you start looking at everything like that, your entire life is based on, like, leaving your house. It's like, all right, there's a chance if I get in my car and drive, I'll die. right?
Right.
I mean, so you're taking a chance.
God, I didn't know that. I'm not driving. I'm never driving again.
You know, if you leave your house, there's a chance of dying. So, but what's the risk? You know, probably super low, as long as you're safe and blah blah blah. You know, so it's like you take the risk of leaving your house for the reward of whatever it is, your life, your job, your happiness, or whatever.
A woman of the night.
And then you can expound that even further to everything you do in life.
Do you bet on everything in your life?
No, but if you think about
like
it,
a
like
mental
everything.
bet. I mean.
Remember, he's reading that book where the lady approaches everything in her life is a bad.
But it should be approached like that because that's what it is. Like every decision you make for your job, your happiness.
You're still reading the book, right?
No, I stopped because
I was gonna say we got a solid 3 years of this whole book.
No, I didn't.
He'll transition to a new one soon.
It's 2 chapters.
That's all you need. It's like 2 weeks.
And then I'm like, I figured it out. That's not
God damn it.
I like that. I support that. Do you guys use Apple Pay? Anybody?
Nope.
Anybody? Here.
I'm not an Apple gal.
Hey gang, it's Zach from Ohio. So, as a plumber, I spend a lot of time training people so they ride along with me in my van. And I had a coworker who I was training. We went to a restaurant, probably a Burger King or McDonald's or something stupid, just for a quick bite. And he went up to the counter and said he ordered his meal and then went to pay with Apple Pay. And I said, oh, our Apple Pay machine thing is down. And he said, oh, well, I guess I won't have anything then. So I nicely just said, I'll pay for it, get me back later. Now I'm thinking this must be a one-off thing. He forgot his card. It happened like 3 or 4 more times, so I knew that he just doesn't have a debit card or a credit card. He only pays for things with Apple Pay. And that seems like a silly way to live your life.
Touchless pay, right?
I guess the exact his point is that you should have a backup, right? To like at least
or why not when you got
card.
Zach to pay for your Big Mac every time?
Yeah. It could
Big Zach.
It could be a brilliant way to get your coworkers, because who's not gonna like if you went to go pay, and maybe most companies haven't got the Apple Pay 100% worked out, or like a lot of times it's down.
Yeah.
It's clunky.
I like that grift.
So 30% is not going to be. So 30% of the time you'll probably have someone buy your lunch because they saw you try to pay for it, and then it's like, oh, your system is their fault. God, I have the money.
I'm the future. You're the past. Jeez.
And then they're like, all right,
has a fossil watch on.
Yeah.
If that is his scam, that's a brilliant scam.
I do. Okay, there's another. Okay, there's a more rudimentary version of that gets me every time. I'm not a fan of it, but we used to have a person that worked here who conveniently wouldn't have money on them. And we'd be doing things, and then they do I'll just take a water, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's a move. Yes. It gets me all the time. It gets me every time. I'm like, nah, just get whatever you want. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It gets me every time.
The pity. Yeah. I'll have just a water.
Just a water, please, for me.
Yeah. Because then people around you will be like, all right, just get whatever. What is that? $8?
I got you.
Yeah.
My wife has been trying to get me to Apple Pay for a long time because she uses it all the time with her phone.
I do too.
She's like, it's so easy. Look at it. And I'm like, yeah, it is. And that's it. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
And then I never.
You just won't do it.
Look at him go.
I will if someone just did it for me, or like I had some sort of I put the numbers and did the thing. Like every once in a while, my wife will do something for me, and then it will better my life significantly, where I'll say, man, I should have done that a long time ago. Yeah. And then I'm mad at myself, and I'm like, wonder how many other things I'm not doing because I'm too lazy to do 5 minutes of work, and then probably lots of other things. But that's bad at life, being lazy. And a lot of people, right? There's no reason why I don't have Apple Pay on my phone except for bad at life, being lazy.
It's a little fast, though, I guess. Hey, when you're buying, online virtual planes for Microsoft Flight Simulator,
a little too easy.
Might be a little fast.
Okay, wait, that's a whole different thing. Yeah, that's kind
of get you into trouble.
Why my wife keeps disconnecting me from Amazon and buy now with one-click pay or whatever. I'm buying gardening stuff all the time. I started getting out of control where I'll get drunk and high at night and just start buying. Just start buying stuff like moss poles and the twisty ties.
Moss poles and twisty ties.
Bought some Hoya bulbs.
Hoya! Let's try this one.
Hey guys, was just listening to the show, and y'all were talking about how old men like to blow their nose hard. Well, I wanted to call because I'm middle-aged now, but when I was a younger kid, you know, even in my teens and 20s, I would always blow my nose hard as fuck. I could never use like Kleenex. I still can't use Kleenex because I blow it so hard, it turns into little paper balls that just blow through, and it looks like I've done a line of Coke or something after I'm done because it just got little paper stuck on my upper lip. I got to use paper towels all the time when I blow my nose. And when I blow my nose sometimes, it's like my fucking groin will cramp up. I blow it so hard. Like I have to do a little dance to keep my groin from staying cramped.
Jeez, man.
Why don't you just
blow it in your
What are you doing? Like, no, but like I think any of that's too hard, right? My daughter does that. Like when she blows her nose, it's like. And I'm like, stop that! You blow your nose like normal people. You don't need to make it. Here's something you don't need to do. You don't need to make an audible noise. It's air through the nose. You don't need to go. You don't need to make a noise. You just go like this. Well, listen. That's how you do it.
I think
you're just a little harder than that. Everything will come out.
That's genetic, I think, because I know a guy that scream throws up. And seriously, I used to get too drunk, and then when he throw up,
yeah, but because it's painful, right?
I don't know. We would laugh and make fun every time he'd throw up because he'd
maybe
scream.
That's why I did it, because you guys were laughing.
It seemed, I mean, he was incoherently blacked out when he was doing it, so it seemed like it was legitimately the way he threw up, and he had to,
everyone knows you get more vomit out when you scream.
Is that like maybe by making an audible noise? It's kind of like karate, right? Like they want you to do the because somehow that makes the hit stronger.
Yeah, you're like Monica Seles. You're like,
they do it in tennis, right? The grunting, like that is a proven.
Some people scream sneeze.
I do.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You guys hear me when I'll go.
Yeah.
It's like a high, really high pitch. I hate it. And I hate that I do it. I try not to do it.
Well, I scream sneeze at home when I let it out. I hold it back for you guys.
You sneeze like a rich woman's dog. You sneeze.
Well, I'll hold it in.
But I like it. It's cute. When he sneezes, I'm like.
That's how I imagine he finishes.
When you sneeze, I want to run over and get kisses from you like you're a puppy.
Because I don't. It seems like the scream sneezing in public or like in a close proximity to other people seems rude. So I'll hold it in.
My dad
at home, I'll scream sneeze.
My dad would do this sneeze. A lot of dads do this sneeze. My dad would go,
right?
Yeah, he's holding it in and causing a heart attack, right?
Yeah, it's bad.
They say it's bad, but how
my wife tells me not to do it. I'll do it if I'm playing video games and I have to sneeze. I'll just go like, and it like I can feel my whole body like expand 2 inches and contract 2 inches. It's like
see if it's an urban legend if you hold your sneezes and it's bad, because people say that all the time and I'm like, I've been doing it forever and nothing's ever happened.
You know, another thing I like to do that people say is bad for you is holding your breath and straining until your face turns bright, almost purple red. I like doing that.
We have looked this up before. Basically, it's not like seriously going to affect you, but it is possible to damage blood vessels in your eyes, nose, or eardrums when you hold a sneeze.
Well, that's not important.
Yeah. I mean, some blood vessels, they'll
the vessels are the little ones that don't matter, right? That nobody sees. It's the big ones, your big arteries and your ventricles, right?
Yeah. I mean,
aortas. Your aorta, that's in your heart, right? Your ventricles. Those are
yeah.
And then your aorta's the big part.
It's like if you stop too quickly, you'll get a red out. Have you seen you'll get blood eyes from the blood vessels breaking in your eyes and whatnot. But I think it goes back, right? It's not like permanent damage. It's fine.
I mean, I don't think so. Let's try this one.
Yo, my name's David. I've been listening to you guys for a long time. So, you ever have one of those days where you drive home in silence and you like don't even realize it? You're just like ruminating about your day and kind of how terrible it was and how much it kicked your ass. Well, that was kind of my day in like the middle of my day. Like Wednesday's my stack day, so I was going from work to school. So I had a day. And then hearing Tom singing Fun, that song Tonight by Fun, just kind of made it all go away. Yep. So I'd like to thank you guys for that. there was so much there to dig into. I mean, the little bit of psychoanalyzation of Tom afterwards. It was amazing. I can relate a lot.
I'm above police officer, definitely above firefighter, above COVID nurse.
Wow.
Because I mean, they're really just, you know,
the COVID.
I mean, you know, put someone on a ventilator, do some things, move them on the side.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason they're a nurse, right?
Under brain surgeon.
There's a. Did you say surgeon? I think the brain sergeant. Are the nurse? There's a reason nurses aren't doctors, right?
True. Not enough schooling.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to end with that? Well, let's not, you know. Hey, come on! You guys know what y'all do! You guys know! All right. Bye-bye.